A ho 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 and a hardy hardy har. It's time for a festive swirl. Lordy lordy, have you been nice or naughty? It's episode number 40.
Hey.
Hello everyone, it's Christmas time here in Cinema Swirl and also, assumedly, in Hollywood. They've even put a little Christmas hat on the big old Hollywood sign. Hello everyone, once again, it's me, Cowboy Kevin, riding through Hollywood and all the classic films with my OTP, who has yet to see all of them. It's Sam Chaplin.
It's me, Santa Sam. Santa. Hello.
Samty, or Samty as he's known in Ireland.
Samty Claus.
Samty Claus. How are you, Sam? Are you having a nice Christmas period?
I am, yeah. I've just sorted out Secret Santa at work. I was in charge of Secret Santa.
Well, you've blown it. You've just told everyone. That's meant to be a secret, isn't it?
The idea is not that you don't know who has organised it, but you don't know who's got you.
And they're like, John, I can't believe you got me this gift. I wonder who organised this whole whip round. And then,
it was me. Yeah,
it was Samty. It was him.
So I dressed up as Santa to do a bit of Christmas gift giving, and I think it was overkill.
It wasn't your first time dressed as Santa, though, was it?
No,
Sam?
It wasn't. I have performed as Father Christmas in the past.
Yeah, and was this a hot new take on the beloved Crops Kringle character?
I'm going to say this was pre-Nick Helm's, I'm going to say, inferior attempt at doing what I was doing about 6 years ago at Mr. Ben's fucking gong show in Leeds. So... You know.
There was only them few people there at Mr. Ben's in Leeds, and there was magic in the air that night. There was a bit of magic. And old Nick Helms, old Dirty Nick, Tricky Dick Helms, Tricky Nicky Helms, he bottled up that magic, didn't he? And he took it to his corporate masters, and they said, yeah, let's have a go.
All I'm saying is that my Santa Claus character wasn't a popular character, but everyone who was there that night went home and they formed a band. So, you know...
Sam, are you saying that your fondly remembered Santa stand-up character from the East Midlands region of 6 years ago stand-up is very much the Pixies of East Midlands stand-up from 6 years ago?
That is exactly what I'm saying. A seminal comedy character.
Seminal Christmas comedy, let me tell you. Hey, we got a seminal Christmas comedy coming at us today with the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I'm very excited to get into this one. But before we do so, I think we should... open up Santa's mail nook and see what's inside. God, no one's been in this nook for years.
Welcome to Santa's mail nook. If you have a present, I guess, letter... requesting presents?
If you've got a letter to Santa, send it to cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
That's cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
And we'll do everything we can to make sure that it doesn't automatically send it into the junk folder, because that's what happens with letters to Santa on the internet.
Or you can go to facebook.com/cinemaswirl and leave your questions in the comments. We'll usually put a little post there for questions for episodes.
I've got a question for cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
Sure, yeah, that guy, that's cinemaswirl@gmail.com. Yeah, sure, the beard guy. What's he cute?
Now, you and I have never met before, sir, is that correct? No, I was just wondering, Sam, do you reckon that the younglings, the little nippers, the wee sprogs...
Yeah.
Sorry, it really sounds like I'm talking about different types of Scottish vegetables there. No, the children.
Yeah.
Do you reckon the children... And let's face this, they're e-kids these days, aren't they? They're hooked up to the net.
Yeah.
Do you think when they're doing their Christmas letter for Santa, that they pop that in an old email and they send it through to Santa on the worldwide wacky web?
No, I think they send him like a Snapchat message. They send him a snap.
It's called a snapper, I think you'll find.
They send him a snapper, and he opens it, and it's got a funny filter on it of a dog.
But the problem is that Santa is getting on in years now, and he can't remember because of the temporary nature of the Snapchat. It's gone, he doesn't remember. So that's why you're not getting the gifts you want, lads.
Yeah. And he's trying to press replay on it, but you can only replay like once every day, maybe. And then, it's a complete mess.
So when they had that big, breach of security, Santa was like, you know what? Every cloud is a silver lining.
And if he tries to screenshot these things, he looks like a proper creep because it comes up on your thing. So he's just in a minefield, Santa. He's having a tough time of it in this modern age.
Poor kids. They're struggling just as much as old Crimps Kringle this year.
They're all saying, "Oh, Santa, can I have a vape?" And I'm like, what's going on there?
That's not lit.
This... It's not. That's part of the selling point of these vapes.
Is that why kids say everything is lit? Is that they're like, they love the environment, don't they? The young foe in it, and the very idea of something being non-combustible and actually emitting energy, that they like that. That's what they call it. It's lit. That's what it means. I'm pretty sure
Everything's lit and yet nothing is on fire.
Yeah.
Sam Chaplin, 2018. So David Spade, he's got a book out at the moment, and his book is called A Polaroid Guy in a Snapchat World. And that's, to me, like, it's the funniest book title ever to me, but I don't think it's for the reasons he thinks it's funny.
Yo, Sam, why don't you go get me a fucking David Spade so I can bury this shit book 6 feet under? Maybe his friend David Shovel can come along as well. And his friend David Regrettable Concept. They can all pitch in.
So, this first question comes in from facebook.com/cinemaswirl. This is from Mike Donahue.
Donahue done it now.
Donahue let the
dogs out.
That's where I was going.
That's a good one. Thanks for setting that up for me, Sam.
That's all right. I set him up.
The difference is I had the courage to knock it out of the park.
All right. Mike writes, what's a good new Christmas tradition for the couple that kind of hates the usual ones? What's a good Christmas movie that isn't a Christmas movie? Brackets, that isn't Die Hard.
Oh, well, I mean, we could talk for fucking minutes about Die Hard.
Yeah.
Picture the scene, okay? It's an office Christmas party. Snow is falling. Cherry blossoms are all around them. Inside the Christmas party, there are two men surrounded by rings upon rings of grey-faced office workers who have lost the will to live. Both men are arguing passionately, redness coming to their cheeks and froth at the lips, and as they tell each other over and over that Die Hard is a Christmas movie. But Sam, the thing is, they agree and they don't actually realise because they love talking about it so much. Sorry, is this Christmas or is it Halloween? Because I just Twilight Zoned your ass.
I've heard this argument so much that Die Hard is a Christmas film that it's become a parody of itself, hasn't it?
It is. This is the year, right? I'm saying it now. If you're someone who's like, I'm going to go convince someone that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, there is a channel called Sky Christmas Movies, and it's on it.
Yeah.
End of discussion, okay? It's over. It's done. This is also the year where people complain about Christmas coming early officially became marginally more annoying than Christmas coming early. The chickens are coming home to roost. You can only be a grumpus for so long before it starts pissing everyone off.
The legal DVD shops have got Die Hard in like cute Christmas packaging, like a special edition box that's all quaint and Christmassy. It's a Christmas film. It's fine. My brother actually posted a thing on Facebook when he went to go and see Die Hard at Christmas.
Whoa, well, that's edgy, Sam. What is he, like a fucking some sort of chaos individual? What is he? What is he? The Joker in The Dark Knight? Like, some people just want to watch the world burn, huh?
He said, watching Die Hard, the greatest Christmas movie of all time. If you disagree, you're wrong. And I couldn't tell whether this was my actual brother's Facebook or an older brother spoof Facebook account that parodies the entire idea of older brothers.
Sam, do you think it's actually possible that there's actually an even bigger older brother of the two of you that you just didn't know about, who has this kind of like enhanced older brother buff, like, you know?
Incredible.
Is there someone in this house lurking behind the wardrobe there who actually is in actual fact going to make themselves player one on all of the multiplayer games and insist on it? From not on the top of the screen, it doesn't count.
So Mike's question, just to remind us all, is basically what's a good new Christmas tradition for people who don't necessarily like the old ones?
Okay, yeah.
One thing that I've noticed is that Pepsi Max is doing a big advertising campaign saying, like, try this new tradition this Christmas.
Yeah, it's big in scope, not necessarily big on ideas, though, is it, Sam?
Their new Christmas tradition is just drink our product, have it.
We could be your tradition. Here, Sam, I've got a funny Christmas tradition that couples can try. Listen to Cinema Swirl.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one.
But when you think about it, though, why not make Cinema Swirl your Christmas tradition?
Yeah, gather the family round, or sit down and have a nice listen to just a random... It doesn't have to be a Christmas episode. It doesn't have to be Festive Swirl. Just any episode.
Any episode. Any episode is fine. A Christmas traditions, literally, the door has been opened by Pepsi.
Yeah.
I have always, internally, in this show, tried to aim for the level of effort that the Pepsi Corporation shoots for on a daily basis. And if it's good enough for Pat Pepsi, it's good enough for you and me. So, Cinema Swirl, the new Christmas tradition.
Just do that thing. Have our stuff. Have it. Although, to be fair, like...
do that.
Coca-Cola kind of has a Christmas thing going on with the holidays are coming in the big van.
Yeah, they're allowed that, though, because they invented Santa in his current red guise. So, you know.
What's Pepsi Max done? Although, Pepsi Max should be like, don't have your family for Christmas. Have your fucking mates.
Yeah, have your mates. Well, funny you mentioned that, Sam, because that is something that I would recommend for someone who is looking for a new Christmas tradition, who maybe doesn't like a lot of the old Christmas traditions. Because for a lot of people, all Christmas traditions usually involve visiting family, traveling, going home, you know, the angst that comes with being within one's own childhood bedroom again, and, you know, being treated like a kid when you're an adult. That's not me, by the way. I have a cracking time at Christmas. 5-star Bobby Dabbler, you know, Bobby Dabbler. Bobby Dabbler. 5 stars, Bobby Dabbler. I like to give 5-star reviews, but I'm just a bit of a Bobby Dabbler. I wouldn't give everything. I only dabble. But deciding, as I am doing this year with my pals, which is I'm having Christmas with my family, and then there's Christmas 2, which is going to happen in January, when the mood is down, the sales are up, and there are vast quantities of Stilton and roast turkeys that are going at a cut rate price at a supermarket near you. Right. And we're going to have a second Christmas, and we're going to exchange our gifts with friends. And the good thing about that is that as a couple, we only have to worry about, you know, presents for family, and then we have a bit of time, and then we can get presents for friends, and then we have a second Christmas, and no more January brews either. You can scoop up some of those hot January sales in terms of getting presents for your friends as well. That's a great idea. I mean, it's no Black Friday, but it's at least a very dark blue Friday, you know? Yeah. I think that's a nice tradition. I like that. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's go with that. It's a good idea. What was the other question they had? There's another question about, like, what's a good Christmas movie that isn't a Christmas movie? Honestly, anything that's wholesome and you can switch your mind off. Last year on Christmas morning, while I was sipping my coffee, Tintin came on, and me and Joe watched the really creepy Uncanny Valley CGI Tintin movie, and it was a blast. If I went to see it in the cinema, I would have hated it, but in the context of Christmas morning and not paying attention, it was great. In fact, I would say that, like, those kind of family 3D CGI, like Pixar type movies, have kind of become almost a nice Christmassy feel to them. They tend to usually be on like the telly around Christmas. They'll put one of those on, and they put them on like 10 in the morning. It's great. It's literally like the kids have been up for 5 hours, settle them down now, and you go back to bed. It's basically like the TV does a bit of parenting. It pulls its weight on Christmas Day. We'll put Monsters Inc. on, have a great time. They're not Christmassy, but they feel Christmassy because they're on at Christmas. Childish, and it's on at Christmas, So put your trust in the fine broadcasters in your area, folks. Yeah, just watch what's on the telly, mate. There's never anything on the fucking telly on Christmas anyway, though, is there? I was just parroting everyone who's given up on having a happy Christmas this year. Okay, another question here from Joe. That's joe@gmail.com. It might be, so don't. I'm pretty sure my joke doesn't adhere to GDPR regulations. What's your favourite and least favourite Quality Street? Okay. They are first and foremost a Protestant chocolate. Okay. And I will say that right now. So if I am going to, peek through the border, so as it were, if I was to step outside the pale or step into the pale as it may be, and I have had them. And Nigella Lawson on Instagram the other day, she posted a big old jar of Quality Street, and she said, it wouldn't be Christmas without Quality Street, although I must admit, I'm not really that fond of them anymore. Which is kind of like, all right, fair point. I mean, if you put me in a room, a simple test, it's Quality Street, celebrations, roses, milk tray.
Heroes?
Yeah.
Got Heroes in there?
Heroes as well. I will go for Quality Street dead last.
Yeah. Same, really.
Now, you have to watch yourself, because if you disagree with me on Candy again, you're going to have to review another Lord of the Rings movie.
Now, at time of recording, that vote hasn't finished yet. Can still pull it back. It doesn't matter now.
Yeah, I'm not going to say what it is, because I don't want to be sitting here going, oh, it only won by 78%, and like an idiot when it's like a 90% landslide in 5 days' time. So I'm going to hold off.
This feels a lot like when Have I Got News For You must have recorded an episode just before Brexit happened. And they were doing jokes about what had happened, but they didn't really know, did they?
No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a Nigel Farage here and make disparaging comments about my own side and hopefully make a run on the pound. So, I don't know. It's looking like we won't be reviewing Lord of the Rings, guys. I don't know. I think that Sam may have won it. I think that crispy M&Ms may not be nice. So, if you want to send me, they're basically worthless. So I might just, if you have any spare crispy M&Ms, send them to me.
Yeah.
Joe.
Stop it. Don't say that. So you don't have a favourite or least favourite because you don't really like them?
I do like the purple one. I like that one. I really hate that caramel coin. It's fucking
That's
chewy
one
and
of
nasty.
my favourites.
Oh, Jesus
That's probably
Christ.
my favourite.
That is literally the tyranny of the British Empire in a chewable caramel. That's why
I love it. My favourite is like the long gold boy. You know, the kind of like little finger. You know? The long one.
Yeah, I know.
The gold one.
It doesn't elicit any emotional
coin.
reaction.
Those are my favourites. All the other ones with like the gooey, like orange filling. No, thank you. Or is that Roses? I don't know.
No, Roses has got gooey fillings, but so has Quality Street. There's a few goos.
Just give me all the bounties that everyone leaves behind after a tin of Celebrations is gone.
Well, you'd be welcome around my house then.
Yeah? Do you not like
Yeah,
it?
not that I don't like them. I usually fill up on all the tastier ones first. Though.
Right.
No, as I didn't say they're not nice. See, I didn't overstep my bounds. I'm not.
Shut up.
I'm not some sort of political novice here. Like I know, Sam. All I'm saying is you got problems with the wording of the ballot. Take it up with the Electoral Commission. That's simple as you know.
All right. This question comes in from James Gilheany. I might have butchered that, but I think that's what it looks like.
That you know what, my ears pricked up because I'm hypersensitive to English people mispronouncing remotely Gaelic surnames. So
how did I do? Not
I'm
great.
assuming I can't see the name in front of me, but I'm assuming poorly.
Okay. This question comes in from James, who asks, at what time is it acceptable to have a drink on Christmas Day? And then there's another question about family movies and stuff, but I think we've covered that. This is about drinking on Christmas Day. When is a good time to start? When is an acceptable time to start? And why?
Well, I usually have a little bit of a light Christmas lunch / starter. We'll do a bit of seafood starter at around midday.
Oh, okay.
And that can often be accompanied with a drop of white wine or perhaps even a Buck's Fizz if we're feeling sassy.
Yeah.
So if the question is the earliest I've drank on a Christmas day, it is at that point. Although, that being said, in recent years, and I never thought this would happen to me, I was a 6 a.m., 5 a.m., and into my 20s, I was a 8 a.m., 9 a.m. kind of guy. Like last year, I woke up on Christmas at like midday, I think.
Oh, Jesus.
So I was like, I kind of rolled out of bed and I was like, you know what? I don't think I want to drink immediately because you got to have that coffee first. But depending on the time that you're awake, I think, Sam, is really what it's all about. Because I don't want to sit here and say if you drink before midday, you're a so-and-so.
Yeah.
Because most people who are, particularly if you got the young nippers or the young, what are they called? The childlings.
Oh, yeah.
They can be up as early as 2 or 3 in the morning, and that's no exaggeration.
They'll be very excited for this day.
Yeah, if you're from 2 and 3 in the morning, by 10 a.m. you've put in a full day's work. Pour yourself a drink, you know,
Have whatever
whenever.
you want.
You know?
Yeah, I think it's down to you, you know? Just whenever. But, yeah, maybe not first thing as you get out of bed.
You gotta have your can of Pepsi first.
You gotta have your traditional can of Pepsi. After that, go nuts.
What about you? When would you drink earliest on a Christmas morning?
I think it's the same as you. It would be like once food starts happening. I don't think there would be. There's not much call for like a drink on its own pre-food. There's call for a drink on its own after food.
Yes,
digestives
and aperitifs. Yeah, a lot of that.
But not like a first Christmas drink. That's not really a tradition. Let's make it a new tradition. Put some vodka in that Pepsi Max.
Here's the question, because now I don't mean to start any sort of snobby war with you.
All right.
What I will say, when I knew you in your younger days, your taste for alcohol weren't necessarily the broadest.
Yeah.
So how about on Christmas Day? Are you still a cider or cider light or flavoured cider?
On Christmas, I would say you'd need a bit of fizz. Be that Bucks, Secco, bit of Secco, or maybe a nice G&T. I love a gin and tonic with a meal.
Oh, wait, with a meal?
Well, I just love a nice... I don't know. I'm fucking... You know what? I'm going to get on my high horse and be like, I'm sick of the idea that you have to pair specific alcoholic drinks with different foods. I just want a nice drink and I want some nice food. They don't have to match, you know?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the mating call of someone with digestive problems right there, folks. If I want to have beer with spaghetti, I will.
I was literally coughing as I said that. Who's going to stop me? Let me just have my gin, all right?
Literally, your lower and small intestine will join together and push it out of you.
Now, this is not related to any question, but a chip shop near me has started doing battered pigs in blankets, and I just wanted to tell that to you because it sounds fucking amazing, and I really want to have some, and hopefully I will have some this Christmas because that sounds phenomenal.
You know what I saw someone doing the other day?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Toad in the Hole. It's the best thing England has ever done. And if anyone thinks that England has done anything better than that, please feel free to tweet me at Kevin Mahan with an F. However, someone posted the other day, I like to show off my Toad in the Hole on Instagram, you know? Because I get a decent Instagram. I like to show off that Toad in the Hole, like, you know? They want to see the Toad in the Hole, Sam. They want to see its rise, you know? They want to see how high that toad can get. But some of the other day I saw it, I felt gun shy afterwards.
Right.
The pigs in blankets in a hole.
Fucking hell.
Pigs in a hole.
Pigs in a hole.
You thought that toads were tasty. Wait till you've eaten a pig.
Oh, Jesus. I'm hungry.
No, there you go. Oh, you should always eat before you swirl.
You know what? I'm hungry for a good Christmas film.
Well, that's interesting, Sam, because we have one of the most beloved Christmas films of all time. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. There's a number of questions I have to ask you before we get into this bad boy and go and watch this sucker. Number one, National Lampoon's. Have you watched any of their movies, or do you know what it is?
No, and sort of.
Okay, sort of? Give me a rundown.
I know the name. I know the National Lampoon. I think it was a magazine.
Wait, you've never seen Animal House?
No.
Fucking hell, Jesus.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Pop that in the Future Swirl pile.
I guess so.
So I know the name. I think it used to be a magazine and then became like a brand of comedy?
Yeah, pretty much.
SNL type people, or is it associated with SNL? Is there some link?
A lot of the people who were involved with it, like John Hughes and stuff like that, who would have like produced a lot of the Lampoon movies or been involved with their making and whatnot, he was like, he was involved heavily with it. I know a lot of the SNL actors, like John Belushi and stuff, when they started doing movies, and the first National Lampoon's movie, a lot of them, like Chevy Chase, they're all SNL people who kind of were heavily involved and all that. So there is a kind of crossover there in that, you know, SNL was kind of the king of comedy TV in America, and the National Lampoon's, I mean, like, Animal House is the highest grossing comedy of all time as far as I know, because it was made with such a small budget, like, and it was such a runaway success, and the vacation movies have all, like, made massive amounts of money. So I think they were kind of their respective kings of their respective film and TV empires. But like most things, I think National Lampoon, like, handed over ownership and editorial staff a few times. I think it started in the 70s, late 70s. It ended in 98, but like by the mid 80s it was pretty much nothing. It tried to be like Mad Magazine type of thing, you know?
Right. So it's kind of like a crew of actors and filmmakers. There's like a gang of people here. Are they all the same people behind it? Or in it?
More or less. I mean, a lot of the same people.
But then it changes over time.
Yeah, more or less. It's got like a rotating group or a crop of people. Because, as we've talked about previously in Blues Brothers and whatnot, a lot of the very famous comedy stars at the time had a tendency to not live past their mid-30s. So there was quite a turnover, comedy rotation, as it were. Of course, as we all know, back in the old days, before that, they would leave the comedians fallow for a year. But of course, you know, now they just kind of take care of that themselves, really.
Yeah, so no, I don't know too much about National Lampoon in terms of like what it is or what it means or why it's important.
There is a movie out on Netflix movie about the creation of it that's apparently not meant to do it any justice at all, but it's just good to know Netflix has got your back. If you want to know what's happened and you don't really want to do any real research,
just watch a biopic.
Yeah, like I forgot what I did last Sunday, so I just popped on Netflix and they had a quick a 9-part docu-series about it, which was called Making a Toad in the Hole.
I was going to do the same joke. I was just waiting to see if you did it. So I'm glad you did.
Now, National Lampoon's Vacation. This is a series of movies. There's Vacation, European Vacation. There's Vegas. There's this. This is actually, I think, the third movie in the franchise.
Quick question: are these sequels or are these like standalone stories?
They're pretty much standalone stories.
Okay.
I mean, you need to know that they're the Griswold family.
Okay.
The original Vacation movie was based on John Hughes wrote an essay called Summer Vacation 58, where it was just like writing the experience, a humorous story of the shitty family vacation. This one is then based on another John Hughes short story, which was Xmas 59 or whatever it was, which is again like a shitty family Christmas. And it was just like, really apt, well written, relatable family Americana experiences. So there is continuity in that it's, they're the actors and they're the characters are all the same, but they very much stand on their own. I don't think anyone's going to come at us and be like, you didn't understand this movie.
You should have watched all the other Vacations.
Yeah, the world building that was done in European Vacation or whatever.
Yeah.
It's very much, I don't even say Terminator 2 because they're very much standalone. And this, because of its Christmas status, has elevated itself elsewhere, I think.
So this is not like the In-Betweeners movies where you have to have seen the full series to get what's going on.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't watch the In-Betweeners movie. Guys, sorry, I didn't. Didn't watch it. Didn't do the required reading. Sorry, gang.
The only person I know who's in this is Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase.
What do you know about C-Double?
I know he was in Community because I used to watch Community.
Did you?
I watched Community very early on in its existence. I was straight on board with the first season as it was.
Oh, so you watched it before it was not cool?
Yeah. And then kind of dipped out around season 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah, they really made it hard to be a fan of that show, didn't they?
But since then, I've heard many a story of just general grumblings that like Chevy Chase is a fucking prick, is what I've heard on the grapevine, and by grapevine I mean internet, and by internet I mean Dan Harmon's Twitter.
So is your knowledge of Chevy's, what's the word, prickishness is so vulgar, oafishness,
yeah,
assholery, toolish behaviour.
Yeah.
What would you say that your knowledge is of that? I mean, you mentioned Dan Harmon. Also, there's other words I'd use to describe Dan Harmon the same as.
Yeah, I think he's not entirely free of any negativity here, but I think
two rats fighting in a ditch trying to drown each other with their own piss. Whatever it is you do, just don't get any of it on me, and I hope you both do each other off in the meantime. Has Chevy Chase been here?
I've heard that he's very difficult to work with. I've heard that he's very mean to people he works with, like fellow castmates and things like that.
Yeah.
I've heard he can be actually racist at times.
Yeah, Donald Glover did quite extensive interviews where he was more than happy to, once he became such a big megastar out of Community and whatnot, he was more than happy to be like, by the way, everything you think about Chevy Chase that you worry is true, and also he's a massive racist.
Yeah, I've got in my head sexist, but I don't know if I'm basing that on anything. The racist one I've definitely heard, but I don't know about sexist.
I mean, it's one of those things with Chevy Chase where I could tell you stories where he has been really, really horrible and derogatory to female staff members or female writers or female co-stars. But that said, for every one of those, there's at least one other of him being a complete dick to literally everyone. He is like one of the most alienating presences ever, and like the fact that he was such a star for so long is really fascinating to me because
I'm just saying that would be like the worst way to defend yourself if someone's saying you're sexist. To be like, no, I treat everyone like that. It's fine.
I'm an equal opportunities monster. Literally the only person I think he hasn't got a problem with is himself.
Yeah. I've heard he's very like fond of himself and sees himself as the funniest person and the best person and above a lot of other people.
I think Donald Glover said of him that he was like a giant fish thrashing out of water. Like he was a big deal, but he was now, and had been since the early 90s, but been well out of his comfort zone, but was still hanging on and thrashing about and trying to make out that he was in his original circumstances. Like as far as he was concerned, it's the early 70s doing coke on SNL, and he was one of the original stars of SNL. One of the, to think like Bill Murray was meant to be basically his replacement on that show.
Yeah.
Like he was the first person who got too big for his britches from SNL. He actually punched out Bill Murray once.
Jesus.
Or, depending on whose story you believed, he was punched by Bill Murray.
And Bill Murray punched him and said, "No one will believe you," and ran away.
Or he got sparked out by Chevy, and then he was like, why'd you do that? No one will believe you. So what was the point of even doing that? I tried to find out why he did it, and someone said they just got in an argument or anything or something like that. And I dug and did some research, and apparently they got into like several high octane arguments.
Yeah.
The thing that led him to blows was that Chevy was told by Bill to go home and fuck his wife. And then in response, Chevy said that Bill Murray had a face that looked like Neil Armstrong was going to land on it. Ow!
Whoa. All right. And these are comedy geniuses, right?
He is, yeah. This is the level, right? This is our comedy geniuses.
Go home and have sex with your wife. You've got a moon face. Punch.
If he called him a moon-faced simpleton, it would have been funnier.
Yeah.
Because you're like, Neil Armstrong, why would he? Oh, right, because my face is lunar-esque. I see. Very good. Very witty there. He also notoriously had a massive falling out with the staff on SNL when he wanted to do a joke in one of the earlier seasons where they would weigh a weekly segment, a recurring bit, where they would weigh all the gay cast members and crew members of SNL to see who had AIDS.
Jesus Christ.
Now that's dark shit right there. That's where it goes from being a bit of a scallywag into being pure darkness. I'm just saying, right, from all the bits, and that's only some of it. If you want to piss off Hulk Hogan and find out loads more, there's a great Gawker list of all of the shit that Chevy Chase has done. A great compilation.
If you want to know why Hulk Hogan doesn't like Gawker, there's a Netflix film about it. That will catch you up on that.
And I'm convinced, and I'm going to watch this movie with eagle eyes, Sam, but I'm convinced of one of two things. Number one, if you were to split Chevy Chase immediately right down the center, there would be a black liquid inside that would go, and then scatter to the four corners of the room.
Yeah.
Or he's been controlled by a very, very small little angry man.
Yes. Now, we've been very, I think, rightly negative about Chevy here and highlighted some of the shitty things he's done and said and been like. and
his
entire conduct for his entire career, and also the opinions of other people who don't like him.
To say we've barely scratched the surface is doing an unservice to scratching and surfaces in general.
However, to just play the devil's avocado for a second, and I'm not defending him here at all, but I'm just saying it's also worth talking about that he is very significant in comedy, and he was very, very, very popular at the time, and still kind of is fondly regarded, and is seen as like a big talent, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's...
You don't get to that level by not at least being somewhat funny and good.
Oh yeah, he is. He's been in a lot of really amazing stuff, and this is one of those movies, and like he has that like relatable quality to him when he's acting. He's not as relatable when you're hearing all the fucking shit that he's done. But like he was one of like I think comedy's first like mega stars that managed to transcend not like movies, TV, like even music videos. I mean, You Can Call Me Al. Like, I mean, it's iconic shit. Like he is built into the bedrock of Americana and American pop culture. And it's just one of the things that, like Hulk Hogan, you can point out all the horrible stuff he's done and said and people he's treated and all that, but it doesn't change the fact that he is part of that impermeable bedrock that is the fabric of pop culture in America. And there's a lot of people who are massive Chevy Chase fans. Yeah. And I think it's possible to separate their performer from his very horrible actions.
You could be very aware of both things at play here. I'm happy to throw the trash man in the bin, but...
I mean, it's fair to say, Sam, most people who worked with Chevy Chase had that same, were aware of him and had to separate the man from the performance.
I don't mean to sound unsympathetic to them, but like, did he start out doing stand-up?
Yeah, as far as I know,
has he kind of not pioneered, but like set the template for stand-up SNL movies superstar? Because that's like the comedy American dream. It's like, that's the thing that all these young kids aspire to do now. And that's been the way for ages.
Yeah. Like, he was doing stand-up and improv. He gets on SNL. He was like the standout star of the early season. And it was like, it was groundbreaking SNL for a whole variety of reasons. There's really great documentaries about SNL and lots of oral histories about SNL. as well. But like, yeah, I think it was like the third or fourth season, but there was a period of time where him and the creator of the show, Lorne Michaels, they shared the same agent, the same manager, and then he left when his contract ended. He left without telling anyone, and he signed to do loads of like high profile specials on NBC, and from that he was doing movies, and yeah, he just became like a super duper megastar. But that is the, as you say, the American dream, so to speak, because you know, in England and you know, in the United Kingdom, the comedy American dream is to do stand up, keep doing it, and keep doing loads and loads and loads of it, and then lose all your money in Edinburgh.
Yeah, and maybe you might get to go and Mock the Week once.
Yeah,
the end.
And have a long shower afterwards. A real long one.
We don't really have an equivalent in our scene.
No, we don't have that really like scaffolded, like where, you know, you can tell how well someone did. Did they get specials? Were they put in a movie? You know, did they get on SNL? It's all very much like the current crop of comedians who are all big stars in their own right. You can all pool them together and kind of lump them to around a certain time in SNL. Like the different generations of comedians are the different generations of SNL, you know?
Yeah.
In America, that is.
In America.
Sam, are you excited for some holly jolly Chevy Chase action?
I think so. This is like this is a very popular Christmas film, isn't it? This is one that's always on.
Oh yeah. I mean, have you ever been tempted to watch it? Or has anyone bigged this up to you?
Not really, but I've definitely heard of it, and I've definitely seen it like alongside the other big Christmas films. In the aforementioned HMV lineup of Christmas films, it was probably next to Die Hard. It was like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I've heard lots of people mention it in terms of like the canon of Christmas films.
Yeah,
it's
essential viewing. Yeah. Well, all I'll ask is that when you're watching the movie, I would ask that you maybe try and see if you can relate your experience at Christmases, past or present, to that of the Griswold family, and see if this is anything that is relatable. I'm very excited to see what you think of this.
Okay.
Because I don't think I was breaking any news to you that Chevy Chase was a bit of a dodgy customer.
Yeah.
It's just like more details were uncovered. So, yeah, we'll see how we get on. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm going to try and just take this at face value and not
Comedies don't fare very well on the swirl often,
They haven't
do they?
in the past, no.
Particularly comedies from the 80s.
Yeah. We'll see how we get on with this one.
Oh, don't be blue, brother. Let's go and check out this movie, huh? Let's go do a cinema swirl. And we're back. We just had ourselves a National Lampoon family Christmas vacation style Christmas.
Yep.
Sam, how are you feeling? Are you entertained? Did you feel that the Christmas holiday season has been lampooned? How are you feeling? Jesus, you look and sound miserable.
How do you feel about this film?
I came away from this movie, I had a holly jolly laugh and a half. I'm not going to lie to you, Sam. And I did come away kind of...
Did you really?
I came away watching this and thought, you know what? In a sense, the talents of Chevy Chase, of which there are some, of which there are many, were on display in this movie, and it did make me laugh a lot. I hadn't seen it in quite a few years, but it was still holly jolly fun, I thought.
Really?
But you have the look of your face of a man who's just been to a wake of an enemy.
I don't use the phrase load of old tosh lightly.
Whoa! Hang on a minute. Tell me now, what's going on?
I just feel like this film is not for me. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I laughed during this.
Really? Not once?
I've made note of
my God.
a couple of bits where I smiled, but there was not a single solitary laugh from me. And I'm not trying to be a dick. I didn't go into this trying to not like it.
Oh, see, now people I think are going to immediately think that you were, because we spent our pre-swirl chat bashing El Chevy.
I didn't try to not like this. I wanted to be entertained.
I felt like it was okay to do a bit of heavy Chevy bashing, so as it were, because I figured that the man was going to get oodles of praise in this part, and I wanted to create the illusion of balance. So I went hard on this guy.
This is going to be
I went
non-stop
fucking ham.
Chase Duncan.
ham. The Christmas ham.
Christmas
Christmas
ham.
hard as a motherfucker. Good Lord.
Yeah, my initial gut reaction is full on stinker is what I'm going with.
Wow.
Not spoiler alert, not to get right to the end and just be like, it was shit, mate. But I did not have a great time watching this.
Well, you know what you've just done, Sam?
Yeah.
Right? What's happened there now is you have just effectively filtered the audience to the hardcore true believers. So if you've got anything you want to plug, you might as well do it now, because the only people listening are the people who really value this fucking podcast.
I think it's good from time to time to have one that I just don't get on with. I just don't.
Honestly, that's not why this was put in for the swirl. This was put in for the swirl because
this was a lampoon from you. You were pranking me with a
no,
with a
seriously.
trash film.
I thought you have more Christmas cheer and laughs from this than from Jingle All the Way, for instance.
No,
Certainly the wrestler or ill-advised first ever Christmas crossover.
I honestly feel like I laughed more at Santa with Muscles than at this.
Wow.
And that's not held up as a fucking classic, is it?
No, and Hulk Hogan would already been, kind of... Yeah.
Problematic lead? Yes.
Yes, please. Barrel of laughs?
Sort of. For Santa with Muscles.
Oh, you've dropped me right in it now.
I'm sorry.
You have no, because I'm here. I've got notes and I've got kind of a preloaded stance here, which is it's all right.
We'll have a great time.
It's a gossamer thin critique that I have, which is it's a bit of fun in it. Yeah. That Chevy Chase can't half act. That physical comedy. Ooh, the facial expressions, quality timing on Chevy Chase.
Right.
This gossamer thin defense is not going to stand up against you.
I'm not saying it's like unspeakably poor and that it's not. It's a badly made, it's not a pile of shit, but it's just, it's not. It didn't feel like anything. It wasn't fun. I didn't have fun.
Some of the non-UK listeners might be thinking that, like, the phrase "a load of old tosh," is like it's a real like whoa,
like the dog's bollocks.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think you like that's a savage fucking assessment of the film. Like,
well, it kind of, but it just means it's just
Well, we've got National Lampoons. Sam has run it over with his car. Let's tip it over onto its underside and slice open the carcass, I guess.
Okay, so
we start with a Christmas cartoon.
We've got some proper 80s music, some kind of...
There's a point where they say, and then we're going to dream our Christmas dreams.
And then we're going to lampoon them, because we're the National Lampoon crew. At this point, with the little animation and the bouncy 80s music and John Hughes' name, I know him. I've seen some of his films.
Don't you forget about him.
I didn't, because I saw his name. I remember him.
Don't.
No.
Don't. Hey.
Now, I think it's just worth mentioning at this point, I'm very familiar with the Home Alone films.
Okay.
Even the shit post-Macaulay ones. Well, one of three. I don't know about the other ones. There's some straight to DVD.
There is a Home Alone 4, and there's also a Home Alone PS2 game. Although, I've not been on the wiki, I'm not sure if that's canon or not.
I'm very fond of the Home Alone films.
Yeah.
And I have watched them quite a lot of times at Christmas, and I've watched them as an adult, and I still had a good time. I've watched Breakfast Club, John Hughes.
Yeah.
And because I was like, he's written Home Alone. This is like, I think he directed it. He did direct this. This was written by him, but not directed by him.
Here, tell me, what's the difference between, and I'm assuming because you studied media, you can tell me, speak now or forever hold your peace. What is the difference between someone writing something and screenplay by?
It's the same thing, really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the same. You write the screenplay. I guess it's just up to how people want to phrase it, but yeah.
Oh man, I just feel you're going to get a serious fucking shitload of comments right now from real interesting people explaining.
Yeah, so it's written by John Hughes, and he's written Home Alone, and he's directed Home Alone and Breakfast Club. Those films have heart and joy, and they're fun, and I love them.
Yeah.
And so I was listening to this bouncy Christmas music. I was watching this silly animation.
Yeah.
I saw his name written by. I was like, fucking hell, we're going to have a great time. I'm going to have a Christmas belter. He's already written one Christmas classic, arguably two, both Home Alones.
Yeah.
He's going to knock it out of the park with this other one. And this is pre-Home Alone. This is like his early stuff, you know?
Yeah, right. And exactly, this is like, he's got, he had Donald Trump in Home Alone too, which, Chevy Chase, ain't near that level of malevolent evil. So he can handle the big fish,
Yeah. This is like if I had listened to the Green album by Weezer and thought, this is fucking great, and had never heard the Blue album. And then one day I went back and I picked up the Blue album, popped that in the CD player. I was like, holy shit, that's what I thought this movie was going to be. This is going to be... this is such a niche fucking reference.
Yeah, you lost me at Weezer after the word Weezer. I was like, oh no, it's one of those Weezer jokes, is it?
It's not really a joke. It's just...
not the ones we have to know loads of stuff.
I just expected this to be...
No, go on. Okay, finish the Green Day.
It's just the...
I didn't say finish the Green Day joke. Finish the Green album joke.
What I was hoping was that Home Alone would be the Green album, and that would have been my only experience of Weezer / John Hughes. But then I go back and I discover this, which I'd never seen, the Blue album, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Pop that in the CD player and realized, holy shit, that earlier stuff was even better than this later stuff. This is going to be a Bobby Dazzler.
So sorry, your hypothetical scenario involves an additional layer of hypocrisy where the hypothetical listening of also thinks that you think this is good, and
it's a bad analogy. It's fallen apart.
Hang on a second. Do you like the Blue album?
Yeah, and I like the Green album, but the Blue album's better than the Green album.
But you didn't like this movie?
No. This is about what I hoped was going to happen.
Right.
We'll edit this whole bit out.
Oh no, you won't. Don't you dare, you coward. I want them to hear you thrash about.
There'll be someone at home going, yeah, I get what he's saying.
No, totally, man.
Rivers Cuomo will be tuning in being like, yeah.
Killer Rivers impression as well, by the way. You got his manners.
Sorry, let me try again. Ooh, he's right there. He's got that one. Let me just put down this hash pipe and listen to this episode of a podcast. Beverly Hills.
Buddy Holly.
Yeah, but Buddy Holly. Juliette Lewis is in this as a child.
Yeah.
And Big Bang Boy.
Yeah, how about that?
Big Bang Boy theory.
Yeah.
Big Theory Bang Boy. He's there. Johnny Galecki.
I only really know because you've just told me there, but I'm
the other little boy, the brother, is not Sheldon, but one of the other comedy nerds from The Big Bang Theory.
Can I get a bobblehead of them in HMV?
Of course you can.
Are they playable in the special edition of Cluedo that is Big Bang Theory?
You bet your sweet ass they are.
They don't just put anyone in there.
No.
They don't, because in that meeting they were pushing for 4 Sheldons. One guy wanted 5.
Yeah, no, they had I can't remember his character's name. I don't know. But yeah,
it's Barry Zinga, and that's the one, isn't it?
Yeah, Barry Zinga's in there.
Barry Zinga! And then he comes in, doesn't he? And everyone in the bar goes, Barry Zinga! Way!
Norm! Yeah, it's great.
It's the Big Bang where everyone knows your name.
But no, we've got some famous child stars here. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. And pretty much every famous adult star too.
Yeah. So they're off to get the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
That's a good old family tradition, isn't it?
No. No. I was at the garden centre where the artificial tree that did us from like 96 to 2004 was picked up, and I wasn't present for the purchase of another fake tree, which then lasted us from then until present. And that was a higher quality one. It was built to last.
Yeah.
But I have been into the shop where they got it. So you've
had a similar experience?
Very, very similar. I mean, I was going to ask you, is that like a Christmas tradition in the Chaplin household? Is that like a Protestant thing or an English thing? Or
we did used to have real trees for a while.
Really?
And we actually had one planted in the garden that we would then decant into the living room and then put back.
Well, you have to let it breathe a little bit first, obviously. Yeah?
But once that went by the wayside, we got a nice quality fake one, and that's lasted us ever since.
So is there a Chaplin divide then of real versus fake? You know, a lot of people out there say that we eat a lot of processed foods and they're bad for you. So obviously if you're going to eat a tree, you want to eat a real one and not a phony artificial one, because the additives that they're putting in these Christmas trees these days is insane. So I was wondering where you sat on that debate, or if there is a debate in your life or family.
I think the more I've come to understand the practicalities of setting up a Christmas for a family, I'm like fake 100% of the way. Just get a big old lovely fake tree. It'll look better. It will not drop its needles everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you don't want them needles all around the place.
But apparently in rural Carolina you can sell those pine needles and make some money.
Can you?
Apparently so. In bulk, if you got a really big tree, they have some commercial value apparently.
Okay. And
a little bit.
You know, the benefit of fake trees, one-off purchase lasts you for a long time.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to say.
That's true.
You know?
It's the original OTP, the original one-time purchase. Yeah. You know, it's what Christmas is all about. I remember, like, very, very young going to a friend's family and they had a massive, patch of land. They were a big farming family and they had the real tree. I remember, like, thinking, like, oh, wow, real tree, this is going to be amazing. I remember, like, I was saying, like, 6 or something, and being like, that tree seems a little bit scant. It's very thin in the arms and the branches have hardly any bristles at all. All these needles everywhere and sap, I can imagine, is nothing but an eyesore and a handsore to clean and maintain. And that snapped with me as a young'un, you know?
9 times out of 10, they look worse than fake unless you get a really, really, really expensive one. And then what's the point?
Yeah. How long does it last? Like, if you had one, how long did it last for? Or do you actually, like, put it back in the earth to, like, top up its HP so it'll live a bit longer?
The idea, I think the conventional thing is you buy a tree from a tree place. Question mark? Not sure.
You can buy them on the bridge in Galway. They sell them on the bridge over the river.
You can buy them in the car park, you know, and you take it home and you put it in your thing, and then once Christmas is done, bye-bye tree. Take it to the dump. Is the idea. They don't last forever, but that's why we actually got one that we planted and then moved back and forth to try and keep it going.
You like zombie resurrected this tree?
I think so, unless my memory is completely wrong, in which case, Dad, can you email into the show and let me know that I got that wrong? That's cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
It'd be really funny if that's how your dad communicates.
It's the only way we
chat in your podcasts. So the caroling in the car on the way there. Fa la 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 la. I was wondering what your fave carols are. Not Christmas songs, I'm just saying carols. Straight up carols. And that's the one time of the year where I'll be like, you know what, religious symbolism has something going for it because they've got some fucking bangers.
Yeah. Have they?
Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. And then, of course, oh, come all ye faithful.
Yeah.
Come on your knees, oh, hear the angels sing.
Yeah, that's a good one.
When Christ was born.
Yeah, my favourite is the I don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need, and
So if I'm doing I can't do Mariah Carey, not that stage of her career. I'm sorry, I can't do anything pre-Heartbreaker. I'm not fucking... I'm not...
No. Make my wish come true. Baby, all I want for Christmas.
It sounds like kind of when someone's like shined up a balloon, they're rubbing their hands. I'm just saying, if you touch Mariah Carey after she sings that song, you will get a nasty shock.
I don't really know carols very well, to be honest.
And I'm not talking about Static. She has an abrasive attitude, notoriously.
I'm not much of a carol guy.
Really?
No, I don't know that many.
Really? You're not fa-la-la-line?
The problem with my non-religious upbringing. Sorry, my Protestant upbringing.
Correct. What do you do when you want figgy pudding then? Like, if you, like, you're just going to be what? No figgy pudding? Like?
No, Now, I put a vote up on Cinema Swirl's Twitter to determine whether figgy pudding is nice or not nice.
What is your stance on
I
fig
don't like
pud?
Christmas pudding.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
rubbish.
I'll eat it, but there's so much I want to eat on Christmas.
Yeah,
that
bottom of the list.
I'm not going to enter into Browntown or I'm not going to Browntown or Acid Reflux Boulevard.
Yeah.
By way of nausea way, you know. I'm going to stick to what I know, you know.
Yeah. The family gets aggravated by some jerks in a pickup truck.
Evil trucks.
Evil trucks. They get stuck under a truck. They get truck stuck. Oh, there's so much calamity going on here. It's so calamitous.
And what I wrote here was Chevy Chase is so good at facial expressions and comedy timing. It is a
he?
marvel to behold. He is. His little facial tics of the calm or appearing to be calm dad who has this thin veneer of having a handle over everything, where he's obviously underneath that thin exterior. You can see just peeking out the mad cocaine-fueled eyes of Chevy Chase, where he's like, everything's terrible and this is rubbish, you know? Tells his wife to look over there and he gives him the finger, you know, all that, take it, Russ, and then he doesn't sing and he's like, la 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 la, you know, it's hey? Sorry, no one has stuck up for Chevy Chase like I have just done in the last 5 goddamn years. Yeah?
While you were saying that, I was having a little think. And I thought, you know who I would want in this role more than Chevy Chase? Mm-hmm. Is a Phil Hartman.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Imagine this film but Phil Hartman in it. I think I would have a better time.
Totally. A little bit later on SNL, but that is totally it. Yes.
Yeah, that kind of dad losing it a bit vibe, I think he could nail.
Yeah, I loved him in Jingle All the Way, but man, it would actually been great if as a protagonist, him going slowly mad. He's got that very calm, velvety, smooth voice, which you can just tweak in a little bit of the angst in there. Oh, he'd be good at that.
I'm not saying Chevy is complete garbage here. I'm not saying he's doing a bad job of acting in this film.
As someone who has dabbled in the live comedy arts,
yes.
Would you look at Chevy Chase and kind of go, I can see why he's considered by many to be the be-all and end-all or one of the top dogs of comedy, and he has a certain je ne sais quoi or a certain X factor as it pertains to comic timing or anything?
Not really based on this. I think you can tell that he's got a certain charm to him in some scenes. It's the kind of straight-faced slagging someone off. That thing he does where he's like, hey kids, look over there, and then he does the middle finger thing.
Yeah.
Or he's, saying something to someone and, slips in like a drop dead or go to hell or something. Is
it that he's a very relatable character to an older generation, do you think?
Yeah.
Because I can imagine my dad loves this movie.
Right.
And I wonder if part of that is because he would kind of have been of that polite mindset, but maybe underneath it'd be like, oh God, fuck this. And a lot of people wish they could just say that. And seeing
maybe.
Chevy do that in a comedic way is very cool. Because comedians very rarely got labelled as cool, and Chevy Chase was fucking hip. He was considered to be cool as fuck. Him and John Belushi, the likes of which. Maybe
because I've not been in this exact situation or even really had to take the reins of a Christmas. I don't know the true pain of it. I don't know. I can't really relate to his
woes,
his anguish here. I can't feel the motivation. I don't know.
You should be lampooning something that was more relatable.
If you lampoon like an addiction to fizzy drinks, then sure, then I can get on board. If you lampooned working at a cinema, National Lampoon Cinema Vacation, then fine.
National Lampooneral Parlour where you worked.
Then I'm on board.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Chevy, money on the table, Matt. That's all I'm saying, mate. Money on the table.
They go to the forest where they're going to cut down a big tree because that's the tradition.
Yeah, they crash in spectacularly. This has got a crazy big budget, like 27 million or something it was for the 80s. It's absurd to think that they went from one of the lowest budget, highest grossest comedies with Animal House to, I don't know, I mean, this did still do very, very well.
Yeah.
But 27 million. Good lord.
I got a nice slow-mo car jump through a sign. That was pretty cool,
Got a lot of laughs, that bit, didn't it?
Well, no, but it was cool. It was
the big laugh for the cool shot car crash.
I was just oh, neat. That's good that they did that. Not like, he's crashed.
Well, Sam, that's kind of why you and I took our different paths in stand-up comedy, because I used to I'd have a tight five and I'd always end it on a spectacular car crash. And the crowd ate that shit up, like, they never saw it coming, and they appreciated the budget that went into the routine. Like.
So you'd end on a big car crash. My entire set would just be a car crash, is the issue.
Look, it's like the old saying goes, Sam, funny needs money,
So they get to the big tree place, they see the big tree, the daughter's frozen.
He would pick the tree with the heavenly glow, wouldn't he? Like?
He would.
The typical American now, wouldn't he?
The little Big Bang boy says, Dad, did you bring a saw? And we get an actual kind of noise as he widens his eyes. He goes, no, I'd forgotten the saw. And when it's like, Dad, did you remember the saw? He's forgot the saw, but they still got the tree and they're taking it home, right?
Well, it's implied that they uprooted the tree. That's the whole gag.
Okay.
That's why there's a big load of roots and soil at the end of it.
Right, because they don't saw
Now, this was alright for you when you were like decanting the tree. You just yank it out and pull it back. Yeah. You had a modular tree that just kind of clicked into the earth like in Minecraft or some shit. Like. Yeah, but this ain't your Hollywood life, Sam. This is a real life Hollywood movie where real people have real trees that have real roots.
I think maybe some of these gags in this film were a bit too clever and subtle for me, and I didn't quite get them.
Yeah, I think so. I think that National Lampoon's was maybe a little bit too clever for you in this case.
Highbrow for my taste.
Yeah, a little bit. We head back to the homesteads where, it's the villains of the piece, the incredibly sexy next door neighbors. Julia Lulia Dreyfus.
Yeah. Another opportunity for
it was a bit there. Actually, there was a bit in Morse code for the real Seinfeld fans out there.
Right.
Have you ever seen the clip of Jerry Seinfeld being asked by Larry King if Seinfeld got cancelled on like CNN? He's like doing his talk show. He's like, what? So Seinfeld, one of the biggest shows, 9 seasons. What happened? Why'd you get cancelled? He's like, cancelled? It was one of the highest rated TV shows of all time, Larry. And he's so pissed off. You know one of those days when you don't do anything for 9 years and then Larry King gives you shit? In fairness, though, he bounced back with B movie, so I'm not making fun.
We get a little film goof here. Because he gets a chainsaw out and he puts the mask on and he looks like the Halloween man from the film Halloween.
Oh my fucking god! Stop that!
What?
It's Friday the 13th.
Is it?
Halloween is Michael Myers. Michael Myers. Halloween. Remember? And then he's chasing her. He's like, Michael Myers. He's like, oh, shagadelic, baby. Have you seen The Love Guru?
Yeah. So we get a nice little reference to another film there.
Yeah, a nod and a wink, a little bit of How's Your Father? Oh.
Yeah.
I'd like to take a moment to thank the executive producers and all the bigwigs in Hollywood who decided to come together in a show of unity to dig into the deep, rich vaults of movie magic to give us a smile, huh?
Do you think...
That took a few meetings, Sam. I'm just saying, it took a few meetings where they had to clear up if it was a clear parody or not, and if they had to get anyone involved. There's work behind that. Look, it's the old saying goes, all right? It's not a joke unless a few lawyers have had to, do the groundwork. That's a proper joke.
I'm glad they went to all the effort for that bit.
Wasted on you, it was. Wasted.
Not seen that film.
There's hundreds of man hours in that bit, Sam. You wouldn't appreciate it. So the tree is gross and
sort
massive.
Sappy.
Yeah, and like he unfurls it and it's super, super big. There was a few moments in this movie, right, where I was like, that's not quite the same as, but definitely heavily similar to jokes in other things that I've seen since. Like that bit there reminded me of one of my favourite bits from the US Office, where he brings back the tree and it's way too tall and they can't fit it in there. It's a very similar gag.
Yeah.
There's a bit later on where they want to do a drum roll, a university accepted noise or sound effect that everyone in this close family all manages to do differently. Just like in Arrested Development with the chicken dance. And I found myself going, Have people supped from the font of Lampoon a bit much, or is it just that kind of influential?
Maybe subconsciously or even super consciously, as it's known. But yeah, people might have picked up on those gags.
Oh, you don't want to give him any credit, do you?
No, I don't know.
You know what's really funny? What's really funny is that we've done this, right, is the fun and festive movie. I know about Lord of the Rings in the new year.
Well, not necessarily at time of record.
Oh, sorry, at time of recording.
I don't know if that's definitely happening or not.
Oh, fucking seriously, the coal being shoveled into Cinema Swirl at the moment is putting them hours in like... Full steam ahead, Sam. Come on.
Chevy gets covered in sap and he can't read his magazine because he's all sticky.
No, come on. You've never been sticky? That's relatable.
Because he didn't wash his hands or anything between touching the tree and going to bed.
Oh, come on, Sam. It was the 80s. No one washed their hands. We just licked our fingers clean. It was okay.
Yeah. Oh, now we get one of my favourite tropes of all Christmas films or Christmas anything is the idea of a Christmas bonus. I love a Christmas bonus. I love a Christmas bonus as a plot line.
I mean, it's a very American thing, isn't it?
Yes, very much so.
Have you ever gotten a Christmas bonus?
Yeah, but it was like 50 quid.
That's fucking more than I've ever got. Like, honestly, nearly every job I've ever worked, the closest thing to a Christmas bonus is that there is more work to do. Or it's really
bonus work.
It is really busy. Or in the time when I was a mailman, it is so busy that there is a demand for your freelance services, and hence there is more opportunity to work for the same rate in which you would normally work.
Yeah.
You, as a little Christmas bonus to yourself, can work an extra couple dozen hours if you want to.
And then you can pretend you didn't work those hours and it feels like getting a bonus.
And then you get that time back when you don't urinate.
In flavour.
Well, we crossed the streams of jokes there.
Yeah, but a Christmas bonus as a concept is a great movie tradition. I love it.
See, it's not relatable for me. It is for you now, you see. That's the problem.
Yeah, that 9-to-5 life. Can't wait for my Christmas bonus this year. A man will have to bring it to my house in a little envelope.
Yeah, what is that?
The work messenger or something will have to come by and give it to me.
You know what? That's a job that would be grand, wouldn't it? It's like, what's your job? Oh, I delivered the Christmas bonuses.
Or the news that there is no Christmas bonus.
Good grand work if it's going. You know, fine. Nothing wrong with this.
Seasonal work.
I do like his role that he has where he's working in this cereal business where he patents a new varnish or new non-nutritional glaze that enhances the crunch of breakfast cereal. Like, I feel that is probably the most significant thing that Chevy Chase has ever done, even though that's a hypothetical thing that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But like, just the concept of that alone is like, that's empowering.
Yeah. It's like when you found out that Margaret Thatcher was behind like whipped ice cream, you know, the kind of like Mr. Whippy type ice cream. She worked on that, and I'm like, I do like
Thatcher, you motherfucker, Thatcher, you son of a bitch, you got us. I'll give you the ice cream. Now apologize for the coal mines. Okay, it doesn't make up for that. Now, I was going to ask you this now, right? I know it's only a hypothetical. Although, if you are in the food bioengineering world and you have come across this, or you know, are a food engineer of some sort, let us know. I'd like to give praise to the right person and not Chevy Chase. He's bad enough at doing that already as it is. But if you could pick one cereal with which to apply this hypothetical non-soggy inducing glaze, what would it be? What would it be?
So it doesn't make them soggy.
Yeah, like which cereal do you think goes soggiest quickest?
Cocoa Pops straight away go soggy.
I'm into mindful eating and drinking at the moment. Have you heard about this?
No.
It's like when you have something that's really tasty and you know you love.
Yeah.
And oftentimes this happens to me where it's like, particularly if it's like a meal I love, like roast chicken or something. Yeah. Or I'm like, wow. And then I'll like, I'll eat it super quick. And I'll be like, oh, that was really great and lovely and satisfying. Right. But I don't think I've taken time to appreciate it. So what you do is just for 1 or 2 bites, give your eyes a little bit of a close, really focus on just tasting it and feeling the textures of what you're eating or drinking, and just allow yourself to focus on that and nothing else. And if something else pops in your mind, that's no big deal. Yeah. I'd like to do that with Cocoa Pops, and I feel I couldn't, because if I'm going to mindfully eat and take my time, then I'm going to have to be mindfully aware of a soggy bowl of brown mush.
Yeah.
Is it Cocoa Pops for you?
I think so. Cocoa Pops What else goes soggy quick?
Frosties seem like they go soggy before milk even hits them.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Like a soggy Frosty is kind of gross. Arguably, when you eat Frosties, you don't really want milk. But you feel like you have to, you know?
Yeah,
I feel like in order to be considered a regular functioning human, you've got to put a bit of milk on there.
Yeah, and the problem with Frosties as well is I think it's the first cereal that I gave up on, and I had to kind of like lie to myself. Like it was a web of deceit. I was like, oh, they're a kid's cereal. I'm not gonna eat. What do you think I'm a kid? As a cartoon tiger item? Come on, I'm not gonna eat that. But the reality is that every time I bought myself a bowl and go, oh, these have gone soggy, I've gotten making cereal wrong somehow. This isn't what they want. Tony the Tiger's like going to be like, hey, you're going to have 2 mouthfuls, champ, and then it's going to be kind of shit. I felt like I was letting Tony down.
I'm surprised no one's actually come up with this glaze IRL.
I mean, I think there is probably more important things to focus on.
And it probably defies some laws of physics, maybe, or not biology. What's the cereal science? What is it?
It would be food science, surely.
Chemistry.
The cereal science is chemistry?
I don't know.
It'd be food science is technically which incorporates elements of biochemistry and biology and nutrition and all sorts, I would have thought.
Right.
We need to get some funding in on that, you know, that seems like a priority. Once we get like equal pay sorted and then wars and a few of the other bits on the to-do list, let's get on that cereal varnish.
Because Chevy's the glaze man, he sorted the glaze. Bonus is pretty much goes without saying it's going to happen. He's going to get his big bonus, right?
Yeah, he's going to spend that big bonus, isn't he?
What's he going to spend it on?
A national Lampoon.
Hey! Going to be great. He's very excited about the pool. He's already put in like a deposit on it, I think.
Yeah.
He knows he's getting that bonus. He's very confident in that. And that there's no way that can go wrong.
No. I mean, there's nothing as sure as the plot line of a Christmas bonus.
Yeah.
The certainty, the watertight nature that is Christmas bonuses in America.
It would have to be watertight for that pool.
Yeah, seriously, right? It's
got water in it.
Christmas bonuses, which have a duality of existence as being both widespread but also so fragile and tentative in nature that they can become, you know, the underlining plot of anything to do with Christmas. I think the plot of my Christmas this year, I want it to be the Christmas bonus.
Yeah.
I think I'll do that. The person who wrote in earlier asking for new Christmas traditions,
the Christmas bonus,
set aside a little money in November and say that's the Christmas bonus, and then like hide it in the house and then be like, oh, the Christmas bonus isn't going to come. How are we going to manage? And then find it and have a great time.
I was going to say, you're self-employed, so this is down to you to decide how you get a bonus. In order to get a bonus, you'd have to take money from yourself the rest of the year and then pay it back to yourself in one lump sum.
Yeah, I can do like a boss-employee interaction with just myself where I'm like looking in the mirror and like, I had to tighten the belt. And like, you heartless old bastard, like, you know. So yeah, Mr. Shirky is boss. That's only bloody cowboy Bill Murray's brother.
Oh, right. I've written several times that this guy really fucking looks like Bill Murray, but it's not Bill Murray. I can tell it's not Bill Murray.
You probably know him for that voice of his. He was like, he was widespread voice use, but he's like in a fucking million in movies.
Right. It's good. Is this after they've fallen out, Chevy and real Bill, not brother Bill?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that happened.
Right.
There's something involved in one of Bill Murray's brothers as well. I'm not sure if it's this one or another Murray brother, but yeah, that's how bad that list is. There's too much of it to remember. It's like, oh shit, like, shouldn't have thought I could remember the shot, but I should have written it all down.
Do you think they wanted Bill Murray for that role, but because Chevy has fallen out with him, they had to get the next best thing, which is Bill Murray's brother?
Bill Murray's brother, like, he's cheaper and he's got a funny voice, like, you know.
But he's good as a grumpy boss.
Oh yeah, he's great. That voice is just like, you know, that voice can be malevolent billionaire or crusty old boss. It's like such a fucking perfect voice. I wish he podcasted.
Oh, maybe he does. We haven't. I don't know. Chevy goes shopping to the underwear bit, the lady underwear bit.
Now, this is an interesting one. Now, watching this with Jo, she wanted me to ask you and for us to have this discourse here amongst ourselves.
Sure.
As two boys, what is the reality of the situation that Hollywood always puts the situation in front of us? I wonder what you think the reality is when a man is in a shop or there's a sexy lady who's a sexy shop assistant, they're like, oh, sorry, I'll pay by my dick. I mean, cards. Sorry. Blah, Now, has that ever happened to you where there's been a sexy lady and you've started like inadvertently
saying
sexually
nipples a lot.
harassing her.
Yeah, no, it's never happened to me. I can't relate to that. We all get sometimes intimidated by an attractive person and we feel a bit overwhelmed, maybe.
I get overwhelmed by shop assistants generally, I think. You
Yeah.
know? If I don't want their help, I'm like, I get very irritated. And if I do want their help, I'm a little bit like, ooh, you know?
But that's not what we're talking about here.
No. This is a much different thing.
We're talking about proper bawdy kind of humour, isn't it? This is like, he's seen a sexy lady and he starts saying, nipply outside. Oh, nippy. Let me just... Oh, I was looking at your... I mean, I've got a boner. I've got a dick. I mean,
do you think like that happens in just in lingerie shops in general? Like, do you think like in Victoria's Secret or Ann Summers, they're like, oh, you wouldn't believe today some guy came in and started doing all these inadvertent double entendres? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Genuinely want to know if anyone's had this experience. You got to email in.
I mean, that's what a Freudian slip is, isn't it? But it doesn't always have to be like sexual, but it can be like saying.
Why did you say that word like
sexual? But it's sort of saying what's like in your subconscious mind by accident.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, okay, I guess so. But,
be...
I mean, everyone's got a bit more of a handle on your words than that now, generally. I'd love to know if anything's happened to anyone.
But this is a film, and it's silly, and it's like, oh, nice lady.
Oh, I know, but the fact that it's such a trope, I just figured it was a fair question that if anyone's like, oh, yeah, all the time, like, you know, and not just sexy ladies, sexy guys as well, you know? Sexy guy working in the Warhammer shop, you go in, I'm like, oh, can I buy some space my balls? I mean, Marines, you know, it happens, you know? It happens to everyone.
It does. I mean, this trope, this idea is such a like old-fashioned postcard like humor type thing, isn't it?
A little bit of How's Your Father?
Yeah, it's very Wiggly Glasses situation. But
I'm not wrong with a bit of blue, eh?
I get it, but like it wasn't done well, and there wasn't like a payoff where he really gets any kind of comeuppance for being a bit lechy, or even if you're just going to be like, oh, he's doing the silly word. There's no big joke. The joke is his son comes up and is like, oh, Dad, hi, and that's it.
The payoff is later when he fantasizes about her, isn't it?
Well, for him, yeah, I'm sure that was great, but I don't know. I just feel like some of these scenes build up and they don't do anything.
What's the deal as well? Every time these situations, it's always this like kind of ethereal, sexy lady where he's like kind of, whoa, my dick's in my pants, and she's like, I'm sorry, I'm a hologram, I can't process that. You know, I'm sorry, I'm not programmed to understand the male gaze. You know, there are always these very strange android cloud-based future ladies who don't seem to process human thought at all.
No, it's quite bizarre. It's as if it was written by someone who might have similar kind of fantasies, you know, and just want women to act how they imagine they might in their nice, silly dream.
Now, make a movie out of it.
Yeah.
The ding-dongs at home get lower and lower. They go ding-dong, ding-dong.
Ding-dong.
Ding-dong, ding-dong. And the family is here, and everyone comes in, and there's a big family melee. I love this scene where everyone's coming in, and it's like, and everyone's doing a million things, and you hear like, oh, give me a rub, I'll give you a quarter, and like, I've had a pint of fluid taken out of my back, and all this crazy cavalcade of like, where if you zoomed out the camera like 10 meters, it'd be like, oh, it's a happy family Christmas gathering, everyone's happy to be here, and then you get a little bit close, it's like, everyone's just got weird problems and shit. Ugh.
Yeah.
You know,
I guess that's kind of relatable. This like
is that
the sudden kind of influx of all the family at once, and you know everyone interacts with each other in their own little way and has their little things. Yeah,
I feel I've inherited my parents' kind of bunker mentality for Christmas. Whereas here we've got all the food and all the nice things.
Yeah,
let's lock the doors and close the curtains. And occasionally,
no one comes in or out.
Yeah, a new person like Joe's like the first person who's come into the bunker in the last 5 years.
Right.
A newbie in. But other than that, it's like no one else is like.
Yeah,
and I kind of feel like the idea of hosting 8 or 10 people would fucking destroy me.
Yeah. I think it's something you've really got to work your way up to over many, many years. You got to get yourself ready for that.
I think you invite a little bit of family first, like maybe one year I'll be like, Mum, decide between you and Dad who'd like to come to my house for Christmas.
Yeah,
and we'll have a trial run with one of you, and then I'll see if I can incorporate the pair. Yeah, and then we'll take it from there. Like,
I think that's how you have to do it. I mean, I can relate to elderly relatives falling asleep in chairs, but it's not necessarily funny.
And, oh, come on, it's really funny when they fall asleep in a chair and then they do a cheeky pump.
I mean, that is quite funny, yeah.
Hey, Sam, guess who learned a new English word for farting? Me.
Recently you've learned pump.
Pump!
Yeah. You've done a pump.
Pump! It's great!
It's great. It's so good.
I said earlier about toe in the hole, asterisk, the word pump for farts.
Yeah.
Because Trump used to be great. I used to love, he's trumpet in there, like, eat loads of Trumps. I thought that's the funny. And then, of course, that word kind of got ruined. Like the way I used to love an old Brexit, before this whole thing happened. But that word got ruined, didn't it? What was it before? I'm never going to tell. But, like, pump now, I feel like, it sounds similar. It actually has the same, like, when the word is said, it hangs in the air the same way. And also, as well, it does feel like kind of, sometimes when they get a little... Like, I wouldn't use that now to describe a very specific fart.
Right.
Now, if I say pump to you, you're thinking about, I know what you mean, like.
It's not a big one.
No, it's not.
No, it's just a little pump.
A little...
like, a pump.
Like you're a machine and the body is just let off a little steam, like, you know?
There's a difference between a fart and a pump and a trump, I think. Fart, pump, and trump are all different types of
very, very different. I imagine Trump to be stinky, like, like it clings to you.
Whereas a pump is just a funny noise. It's not, it's just a kind of... it's a little pump.
No, that's a parp. That's a parp.
Yeah.
Okay?
I need to know my parps and my pumps.
I really feel like we could do the Americans listening a good service now and give them a nice big long list of fart words, because I think they've only got cut the cheese, and I'm not sure that one's any good, because sometimes you might think people say he's cutting the mustard and you might think he's doing a really good job, and actually it just means he's done a smelly
pump.
He's done a smelly pump instead. Very famous scene here coming up now, where he's got the L Christmas lights and it doesn't go according to plan, eh? Chevy Chase, master of physical comedy, a master of physical comedy, had to spend a time in a rehabilitation facility because his mastery of physical comedy led to him having a serious painkiller addiction. Apparently a lot of the people who I would have considered to be physical comedy greats all struggle with, like, back pain and shit.
Because they keep falling off fucking roofs. That's why.
Falls hurt.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Yeah. No, don't do that. Don't fall off a roof. Yeah, he's up a ladder. He's got a staple gun and he's got some electrical lights. I wonder if anything's going to go wrong. Am I being too cynical about this movie? Am I not?
Oh, come on. And you know what's going to happen, but it's still funny
the ladder
anyway.
Tips up and then he goes back and then he falls down
but the lights, it's really funny because the icicle comes off and it comes in and flies in and it smashes the sexy baddies TV, like when they're trying to watch their sexy TV shows. Goddamn sexy yuppies, get them, those bastards, the real villains of the piece, those sexy bastards.
Yeah, who as far as I can tell haven't done anything wrong.
Sam, what are you talking about? They're antagonists in a broad comedy. Of course they're sexy. Of course they're bad. Oh, come on. Their crime is their youth and professionalism. Those yuppie sons of bitches. How'd you get that house? Is it with a fixed rate mortgage, you fucking piece of fucking shit? What, are you going to do lump payoff at the end? Yeah, I bet you do, you fucking filth.
So once Cheppy has fallen off a roof and shit and he's hurt himself, he tries to turn the lights on.
Yeah, 25k lights he's got.
Puts the two ends of the thing together to turn it on. Big reveal. And he asks for a drum roll. And you mentioned this earlier, that drum roll bit is
I love that.
Probably my favourite bit of this film.
It's because someone's going like, ba, 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 ba.
The best... I'm just a baby and I like funny noises. But I think, the idea of a whole family trying to do drum rolls and not really knowing what the standard... Like, there's no one really knows how to do a drum roll noise. So you just get a load of weird noises.
I will counter with, you go, and you double tap the knees.
That's what I would do. But then I can't do the rolling R thing. I can't do that. Yeah, I can't do that.
You can't go...
No, I can't do it.
Really?
Yes, really.
How profoundly irritating.
I'm sorry, I can't do it. It's upsetting me. But
come on, Sam, be professional.
I wish I could. But yeah, no, that was a cute bit. That's a cute little moment where everyone's doing different drum rolls.
And his core family are well sweet because the lights seem to be bust, they're not working, but everyone's nice. Like his daughter's like, they look really nice even if they're not turned on, Dad. That's sweet. There is heart in this movie. You gotta give me that, Sam.
There is a bit of a family bond there.
Although you did kind of point out the sweetest kid is like, some creep from the Big Bang Theory.
Sorry, I've ruined it for you.
Yeah, you just put this adult man from that show in place, like.
So Chevy stays up all night trying to fix this, isn't he?
Getting bopped by his ladder.
Yeah, he's having a nightmare.
So next morning, he pops up into the attic to hide some Christmas presents, playing a little bit of Father Christmas.
Yeah.
Have you got any preferred Christmas stash zones?
Not really. I mean, spoiler alert, I know it used to be just in the loft. That's the traditional spot, isn't it? Pop them in the loft.
Not for me. Not for
you. I'm not saying where I would put them, but where my parents.
Oh no! What growing up, we had a loft, but growing up, my parents, I think, because my dad went through the loft once. Then it's like, right. This will not be a yearly tradition. This will be an as and when, if at all, absolutely necessary, we will enter this hellscape. But yeah, they used to pop it in their closet, which was bad because they had loads of boxes for like shoes and shit. My parents are people who keep their shoes in their boxes,
right?
Because they buy the kind of shoes that have boxes, unlike me, my shoes come wrapped in a bag or wrapped in kitchen towel or old newspaper.
Yeah.
So I would go and be like, Christmas presents. Like, just some older lady's shoe, like or it's some smart small shoes or something like that. But they'd be in there. I didn't know that.
Oh, okay.
Did you ever have to make the grown-up decision to be like, I'm not going to go up and look at my gifts, even though I know where they are?
I never did. I never went up there to have a look.
You never felt? Did you feel tempted though?
I felt tempted, but I was a good boy. I never had a look.
Yeah,
yeah.
You weren't like kind of sitting down there and be like, "Don't tempt me, Frodo. You understand? I would go up into that loft and simply look at my present for good, but through it would wield a power so terrible." You're looking forward to it, aren't you? Huh?
Yeah.
Hey, big match, Andy Serkis. Hey.
Might not happen. Chevy gets hit in the face with the roof ladder, the loft ladder. That was fun. Like that.
Yeah, that's good. He should have had a styra.
Yeah.
I like that he's got a special crawl space to put his gifts in. That's like very, very secure. No kid's going to look in there. Like that's very good.
Yeah. And he digs out another little gift.
Yeah, I like this. This is one of these jokes which, like, the joke was enhanced by the fact that this movie was older. Like, because he takes it out and it's like, Happy Mother's Day 1983. I'm like, God, ages ago that is. That's crazy.
Really, it's like 5 years ago
or whatever like that. So, like, I'm just telling you, if you are out there, Hollywood, and I know you're listening, and we're big fans of your movies here at Cinema Swirl in Hollywood, but I would just like the writers to make sure that their jokes are at least Y2K compliant and you don't get any false additional laughs, because now I feel like I'm coming into the second act here and you think that you've given me a 3-star joke and you've given me a 4.
Yeah.
Of course, Sam here probably thinks it's like a 1-star joke.
No, look, I'm not saying, well, I am kind of saying that all the jokes here are not brilliant. It's tough.
You don't like the movie. You don't like the movie.
I'm trying to, like, maybe in retrospect, trying to think, oh no, hold on, I did enjoy it, but I still have the same kind of feeling that
that Chevy Chase, when he was making this, was thinking, you know what, I seriously hope this is one of these movies that someone will try to enjoy and really focus their energies in. Like, I hope the audience works with me on this one.
He gets stuck in the loft, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he starts watching old Crondmist movies.
Yeah. Oh, we get the Sideshow Bob bit here.
Yeah.
We get the plank bit.
I know, right? Seriously.
You know what? I would have pissed myself laughing at that if I hadn't have watched that a billion times on The Simpsons as a child. And I know Simpsons didn't do it first, but I'm saying that stepping on a thing, it hitting you in the face.
Is this like one of the first times where, like, a reference to The Simpsons, it's like you're usually like, oh, I understand that now because of Rocky, and this whole episode is like a Rocky parody. But now it's like, oh, I understand that they would have seen this and thought, rakes, but that bit.
So I guess that's good, but I didn't guffaw because, I've seen Kelsey Grammer do it better in animated form.
Was that one of your smiles, though? That
was one of my smiles. The drum roll was a smile.
With an assist from The Simpsons and Kelsey Grammer, like. Chevy Chase has got some high-end fluffers here to help him out with this one, like.
They all just fuck off shopping without him. Yeah. No one checks where he is.
What do you mean? He's a busy guy, and they see he's off doing Christmas stuff. And here, I've got a serious question for you. When he's up in the loft here and he starts playing dress up, when did it happen that old women stopped dressing like fortune tellers? That is an era that I missed, and I'm really annoyed by that. I think, when did that stop?
Hopefully it'll come back around, like, with the next generation of old women.
I can't remember if I got you one or not. I was in Clinton Cards the other day, the card shop, which came close to bankruptcy and nearly folded a few years ago, but manages to survive in spite of itself. People love the e-cards these days. They don't want a physical card, Kids have got filters for their cards. But I can't remember if I used to buy you your birthday cards from Clinton's, and I can't remember. They have a series of cards which is a glamorous older lady, and all the cards have like felt and fake jewelry on them. And it's always like a sophisticated older lady where it's like, for my beautiful wife, or for my one true love, or for my darling mother. And she's always in these provocative, classy lady poses. And she has that kind of look, the gloves and the pearls and the fortune teller's hat. Did I get you one of those? I can't remember.
I feel like you probably did. I remember you got one that had like a big P on it. And it said, Happy birthday. I like that one.
I did want it to say penis, but alas, it was... Clinton, they run a clean shop,
I've just thought, e-cards, they're not really a thing, are they? They're not a big deal. And
no, I think, like, male clients seek and destroy those,
They make perfect sense, and yet no one wants to use them because they're naff, and you just stick to the old thing. When those umbrella hats came in?
Yeah.
You'd put a hat on, and it would have an umbrella, and it would keep you dry. That makes perfect sense, and it's so practical and useful, and yet, where are they today? We still stick with the analog umbrella.
I think one of the issues, particularly with the e-cards, is that people don't actually like cards that much. And this is where I speak of experience of seeing my parents for years, spending hours filling out cards with a big list of people they felt they had to send cards to, and then getting millions of cards, and then having to put them all up and filter out the cards from the people who they really want up here, not there. But if people are coming around, make sure their cards are out. It's horrible. But this year, I've received a couple of Christmas cards from friends in the mail. And now, me and Joe have gotten, for the first time ever, we're like, you know what, we might send some Christmas cards. But even though the e-card makes sense, it feels impersonal still.
I know.
So I think it's not actually the function of the card that's in question. It's actually
the tradition,
the sentiment and the thought. I know that whoever's done that has given me a solid minute of their time.
Yeah. No, I get it. But it's weird that we're kind of clinging on to that, old tradition. In a Snapchat world, we're still all Polaroid guys. What's going on there?
Sam Chaplin's gonna binge watch some content on a wireless device with his fucking umbrella hat, looking at his e-cards on another tab. Start a new Christmas tradition. He's gonna be drinking Pepsi as well, no doubt.
His wife comes home, she opens the loft, he falls through the loft. Of course he
does. So the lights get fixed and they come on and they're super powerful, so much so that the auxiliary nuclear power station has to kick in. I think the backup power is really harmful for the environment, or as it would have been alleged in the 80s. The sexy baddies try to have sexy sex, and it's ruined.
By the big light.
Yeah, because
Clark's put the big light on.
Yeah, I mean, Sam, there's nothing sexier than a well-lit room, is all I'm saying, You don't want to be messing with the white balance. I understand, but even still, come on. Their sex got ruined, and I was like, okay, take that, bad yuppies. I am starting to feel bad for you, though, evil and sexy as you may be. But then the carpet is ruined. And I was like, oh, mate, now, come on. Now, like they actually, I felt so much sympathy for them. They became less sexy because I felt they were no longer the antagonists of the movie.
Yeah.
I was just sitting there kind of going, you know what? If that happened to me now within this Christmas buffer zone, it would probably ruin my mood for Christmas.
Yeah, if sex gets ruined, fine, you can deal with that. A carpet gets ruined, that's a couple of hours of cleaning, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You can't have another go at carpet, that's it, it's there, and now it's ruined. And I should know, Sam, right? You asked earlier about Christmas bonuses and all that. No, I don't have a Christmas bonus this year myself. However, I did make a bulk payment off my 0% APR debt on my carpets.
Right.
I gave a little extra, a little bit of Christmas cheer for the creditors who are managing the payments on my carpets. So just a little something extra in there, all right? And I wanted to put it into a little Christmas card for them, but I had to use the online e-commerce platform to do it, which felt less festive, but whatever. That's their right, you know, their right.
Ed and his family come to stay?
Yeah, these are the obligatory 80s movie bumpkin outlaw family renegade vagabonds that always have to appear with his family gatherings.
Yeah, in their big RV.
Yeah, the big RV and their unwashed children.
Yeah.
Who don't get out fucking... The first thing I would have done is give them children a wash.
Yeah, pop them in the bath straight away.
Okay, right now, I'm just setting the scene for you, right? This is a telltale game scenario I'm putting at you here, Sam, and Kevin will remember this, all right? Would you, confronted with this situation, you're hosting a hypothetical Christmas, hypothetically playing the Blue Album, and... Some, you know, these are cousins-in-law. This is like, you know,
my name is Jonas. I'm carrying the. So I'm setting the scene.
Yeah, setting the scene. Okay, C plus family at best, right? They're not main event family at all, right?
Okay, yeah.
They show up unannounced with an animal, children, one arm as long as the other. Would you be open arms? Of course, come spend Christmas, even though we're already stretched thin as it is, or would you turf them out?
You have to bring them in. You could, if they arrive unannounced, shame on them for putting that level of pressure on you with a surprise announcement. However, just turning up as a surprise. But at that point, you do have to then welcome them in. I personally would bring them on in.
I feel I'd bring them in. However, I also feel that I would have to immediately let them know how inconvenient it was. Like, there's no way I could pretend that I was okay with it. I would be like, yes, you're getting this, but the accompanying side dish is, you know, a 2-star hostility from me.
Yeah, like, you're here, but you should feel bad about how you got here and why.
And behind these baby green eyes, there beats the fire of a dragon that, if left to their own devices, would say, scoot off, no room at the inn, unless you got the Messiah, in which case you should not go to the inn anyway, because that needs to take place in a barn, not in my house. Which is not an inn.
Ed's here, he's drinking eggnog. I was going to ask about what eggnog is.
Oh, that's really interesting. Eggnog is something I'm very interested in doing. And I wanted to do it last year, and I didn't find the time, unfortunately, as I had unfortunate woes this time last year. However, this year, I'm doubling down. And you know, Sam, no one likes an egg more than me, right? I love an egg. Eggnog has got a variety of recipes, it seems, because I asked on Twitter from my American and Canadian followers, I was like, hey, I want to make eggnog, what should it be? And I got like 20 different recipes. So no one can tell me really what the definitive one is, other than it should have egg whites, it also should have egg yolks separately, and it has either brandy, some people put in rum, some people put in bourbon. It has sometimes double cream, sometimes single cream, sometimes milk and cream, and almost always nutmeg, but sometimes allspice, and sometimes cloves, and sometimes cinnamon, according to some people.
Right.
So it is basically, and also sugar as well, castor sugar. So it's basically sweet, creamy egg, mild spice. Christmas cold liquid flavor, and I want to take a big fucking bowl of that and I want to just tip it into my fucking face. I'm really excited to do it this year.
I've never tried it.
I mean, either. I've never had it.
Yeah. I want to have some eggnog.
30, there's nothing you've not had, surely. I'm like, I've never had this thing, and I see it every time on a show, and I'm like, oh, that seems like it's a White Russian you can drink 9 of and it'd be socially acceptable. I want nog.
The egg bit is the bit that perturbs me a bit. I don't want to be like Rocky, you know?
Yeah.
Down in eggs.
Yeah, that scene of Rocky was like, yo, Adrian, let's have some of this eggnog. I don't know, Rocky. I think that eggnog looks pretty bad. Oh, come on, Adrian, don't be such a dickhead. You know, and he gets poisoned by it. I think, right, the reason why we don't have eggnog in this country, and also extend good old ROI, Republic of Ireland, in there as well, is that, do you remember when we were younger, there was a lot of hysteria involving raw eggs and salmonella and potential transmission of diseases. Now, they've actually come out, in the last year or so, the Egg Council have come out in the UK and they said, actually, no, all eggs that have the red line stamp on it should be perfectly safe to have if they're raw. And they used to say, like, oh, if you were like pregnant or a young child or an old person, you'll die if you have a raw egg. No. Not the case. But over in America, I don't think they've ever had that issue with eggs. I'm not saying that they didn't have any potential health scares with them, but like, I remember remember when I was a kid going to France and I ordered spaghetti carbonara when I was like 8 or 9. It was my favourite meal.
Yeah.
And they served it with a raw egg on top. And my parents wouldn't let me eat it. They were like, take this away. And I was like, but it's got a yolk and it's going to mix in. And they're like, no, you'll die. You'll get parasites will eat you out from the inside, like type of thing.
Jesus.
And I have it on good authority. There's a broken biscuit cake from a cafe in Mullingar. You know the one. And it's so good. It is the best broken biscuit cake ever. And they've never given me the recipe. They refuse outright. They say it's a close guarded family secret. We've been going to that cafe for 25 fucking years and those dickheads won't give it to us. And I know why. It's because one of the secret ingredients is raw egg and they're scared of saying it. Boom! Yeah?
Wait.
I'm telling you, it's you. I'm onto your game, cafe in Mullingar.
Wait, what's a broken biscuit cake?
You've not had a broken biscuit cake.
What is it?
It's basically like, right, the analogy I'll give is this. You know the way in Terminator, the robots make an evil robot to go back in time, and that is the Terminator, right? And then there's T-1000. But then the good humans, the goodies, they actually reprogram a robot and they send it to help Terminator 2, which is Arnie, right? The T-800.
Yeah.
So if Tiffin is the original Terminator or T-1000, then Broken Biscuit Cake is the good guys, brackets, the good God-fearing, guilty, shameful Catholics. That is us retooling the evil, imperialistic, cold, mechanical machinations of the dreaded droids and making it into something pure to help mankind. Broken biscuit cake.
Is this baked in any way?
No, it's a fridge cake.
Right,
you don't have to bake it.
I was going to say, when you were saying, like, they put raw egg in this cake, I'm like, no, but if they bake it, Kevin, it ain't raw egg anymore. I've got you there, mate.
What do they do with it? Like, I've got all these ingredients in a bowl. How do you make this solid? What's your game?
They put raw egg in it and they've heated it up.
Sam, it's like almost like a batter, and yet somehow it forms this almost sponge-like material.
So Clark, he uses his fancy new kitchen lube on a sledge, doesn't he? On
he does.
Big pan or something, big bowl.
It is. He refers to it as a saucer sledge.
A saucer?
A saucer sledge, as in like.
Imagine the teacup that goes with that.
Hey,
huge.
How big's that fucking teacup? Eh? That's gonna be God. You'll be fucking jazzing after that cup of tea, huh?
He puts the lube on the saucer, or else he gets the hose again.
That, of course, is the very, very Protestant Silence of the Lambs, or Silence of the Mutton, as it was also known when it was released here.
When he puts the lube on the saucer and he goes down the hill, he goes really fast, doesn't he?
Yeah, he gets it, and then it becomes a Mario 64 level. It's like... I love this. It's absurd. It just goes completely wacky. It's like in Monty Python, when in The Life of Brian, when, he goes flying, he ends up in space, and it's wow, physics, who needs them, yeah?
Yeah, proper silly slapstick fun in it.
Yes, come on now, that got the smile. Did that get the smile?
It got a bit of a smile when he crashed into a Walmart bin. I like that. Well, that was funny.
Because that is where Chevy Chase theoretically should be at the moment. Like, I'm not saying I'm going to do it or I want him to say, like, that's where it should be, right?
He's still not got his bonus yet. He's asking around at work. He's like, where's the bonus?
Yeah, it's December 21st, and I've written here, their advent calendar is very rubbish.
Oh, it's one of those picture ones. Pathetic.
There's no Lego, there's no cheese, there's no homemade little list of treats that you've bought secretly for your pals. That's what I've been doing.
There's no Zoella cookie cutter that you can
Wait,
get.
is that a thing?
There was a Zoella calendar last year.
Wow.
And people kicked up a big fuss because it was proper shite.
What was wrong with it?
35 quid or something from Boots. Like, it had, like, confetti in it, in one. A little cookie cutter in another.
Ah, no.
A paper clip in the third. Some fluff.
The concept of guilt. That was in one of them, One of them was a mirror and said, it's you! You try think of 25 things to put in a calendar. It's impossible. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen it. Have you ever been to... Have you got a local Aldi, have you?
Yeah.
Or, sorry, I will speak the Queen's English. Have thou an Aldi?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, pip pip.
Yeah, pip pip. Diddly-doo. Pims. If you go into... I'm not sure if they still have them, because they sold out my Aldi, which I think is very, very funny. Like, the fact it sold out. They have a wine wine advent calendar.
Ooh.
But now, this ain't no, like, little itsy-bitsy, squeaky, teeny-weeny wine you get, like... As in, it's a legitimate 25 stack pyramid of wine. It, like, goes up to the ceiling, and it's like, that's bigger than most Christmas trees. It's bigger than mine.
Nice.
Are they seriously advocating 25 bottles of wine to be imbibed over 25 days?
I think so. Yeah. Wow.
I mean, you know what? You could call me like whiner instead of slimer, because that's how much I like a nice glass of wine.
But not
that's
a bottle
too much
a day
wine.
every day for 25 days.
Yeah, you open a bottle and go, this isn't nice. Open the next one. Yeah, go on. Only 24 to go.
Chevy hasn't got his bonus yet. It's nearly bonus time, and he ain't got no bonus.
It's almost as if this plot is beginning to unwind, isn't it? This Christmas bonus. I thought it would be a source of security and comfort, and it's went right in its head, hasn't it? Well, it was confusing, though, because I wrote down here my shorthand. Have you developed a podcasting shorthand for when you're taking notes? You write kind of shorthand, like new words?
I do, but it's not like... I haven't really established it in my head as to what some of this shit means. So it's kind of a mess when I look back through my notes.
I always write down bonus as bono, because I reckon if you could shave off one letter, then you've saved some time, you know? So, but I wrote down here, no bono, question mark, which as I was reading it there, it really said like no bono, which is, of course, my pitch for the new U2, or U 2.0.
His original stage name was just Bonus, wasn't it? And then he wanted to say it. That wasn't cool enough, so he wanted to save people time saying his name.
Oh no! So he's back home then, and he's having a bit of a think about the pool. And there's a very, very funny scene. It was quite funny where he imagined the sexy lady from earlier, and he almost sees her breasts, and she undresses slowly, and it's very sexy. And as of so, you know, you can't have comedy, Sam, without a soupçon of side boob.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 101.
To me, comedy is boobies.
Yeah,
and boobies is comedy.
I'd end, obviously, the set on the car crash, obviously. Yeah. But, you know, they say you do your best joke at the end, you do your second best joke at the start. That's why I would start with the side boob, and then I'd work my way up to the car crash. Yeah, at the end. Yeah. You know? And I spent a lot of money on that routine.
That's pretty much the principle of Dan Harmon's story circle, isn't it? You know, you start with the side boob, you work your way to the car crash.
It's comedy. It's the rule of threes. Car crashes, side boob, and money. And if there's a fourth, it's lawyers. Send lawyers, boobs, and money.
He starts by imagining his family, and then gets bored and moves on to sexy lady.
Well, in fairness, Sam, what red-blooded American male doesn't think about his family, then get a little bit randy, a little bit turned on, you know?
But one of Ed's little kids comes and says, "Oh, Uncle Clark, are you Santa Claus?"
Like, no, of course, you fucking idiot. No,
I'm not.
Like, oh, family, this kid thinks I'm Santa Claus. You hear this fucking idiot, this fucking jump. Oh.
There's a solid gag here in their little conversation.
Oh, it's a very hashtag solid gag.
Yeah, where she mentions that. I can't remember who she's saying is nervous. I think it's Ed. He's nervous about Christmas or something. And it's like he's nervous. He's shitting bricks.
Don't say that word.
Oh, he's shitting rocks.
Way.
It's the wrong word.
Sam, that joke is so fucking solid. Ground Force are going to come and erect a veranda on it. It's fucking it's watertight.
Oh, I still remember their names.
Really? What are they?
Tommy Walsh, Charlie Dimmock, Alan Titchmarsh.
Oh, Titchmarsh, that's it. I remember Titchmarsh. He got his own chat show.
He did.
The rule of threes. You have to have those three people in your jokes. Otherwise it's not a funny joke.
That's my Top Gear right there. They're my three.
Yeah, and when they all get, lost and make mild racist remarks about gardening in different countries.
Now on Amazon Prime.
He starts, bigging up Santa, and it's kind of like, hey, Santa always knows if you're good. And like, well, we didn't get anything last year. And like, well, Santa's gonna, he's gonna really surprise you this year. He's promising some big Christmas promises here.
It's a cute conversation. It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's cute. I want you to know, though, in your household growing up, was Santa given credit for the lion's share of the gifts? Or was he just given Santa gives you the stocking, or here's the little gift from Santa, but mum and dad got you the fucking Xbox type of thing, Is that the setup in yours? Because in my family, it was like, look, Santa got you all this, got all your gifts. Here's one or two thoughtful little things, tokens from mum and dad. But man, Santa really did it. I always thought, wow, my parents really the unsung heroes here. They let some figment of their imagination get the lion's share of praise. But I know in a lot of English families, it's different.
No, I think most of it was from Father Christmas. himself.
I see.
And then I think as we got older, it became more, and this is from us, you know.
Right, so when you were a kid, there was no, like, mum and dad got you this, though? So
I don't think so. But then there was, like, but your other relatives, like, you know, granny and granddad or some aunties and uncles would get you things as well, and those would be from them.
Yeah.
So it was all a bit.
But that makes it feel like your parents are like you're a little light here, mum and dad.
Why didn't you get me anything?
Yeah, like even the aunts fucking chip it in. Where the fuck is like you and then some fucking out of towner giving me a 10-speed here? Where the fuck cough it up, like, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't quite add up.
No, and honestly, that's one of the most. You know, parents are so goddamn selfless because there's no chance in hell that I would be able to do Christmas for kids and not expect a thank you. Like, I honestly, I wouldn't be able to function without that gratitude.
Yeah, it's a hard
I'm a
task,
small man, Sam, a very small man, and I want what's mine.
I don't envy parents trying to make Christmas work and kind of make sense.
No. Ugh.
Yeah.
Rough and tough. So Eddie is busy next morning getting his poop pipe on. Poop's coming out of the pipe and filling into the sewer. And there's a second joke there as well because he had a big cigar that looked like a poo as well. Which is like, if you imagined a man who put a poo in his mouth and lit it and then smoked it, like, it was really funny. And he wouldn't notice because it already smells of poo.
He had a big poo in his mouth and he was pouring poo out of a pipe into the floor. It was hilarious. And the yuppie family next door, they're like,
those sexy bastards.
There's poo everywhere. That's not sexy.
I was really expecting them to get covered in shit. I'm really surprised they didn't.
You know what? When I saw poo coming out of a funny pipe, looking like fridge milkshake coming out of there, just like...
Well, I won't be drinking those anymore.
No.
Yeah. Yo, someone strike that off the Christmas list.
That thick milkshake kind of vibe.
Oh.
Kind of,
yeah, when you shake
cloggy.
it...
Yeah, that stuff. I thought someone was going to get covered in shit. Like, guaranteed, 100%. And yet, there wasn't any of that.
Like, jokes of this movie's ilk, you know, have a trajectory. And for me, the obvious landing was they are opening the window, they're listening to some sexy music, you know, he's slowly revealing his shirt, and then, like, the window gets smashed, and Eddie comes in and, like, holds them both down and just, like, puts it to their mouth and, like, fills them full of shit, like. And then it explodes out their eyes and, like, everywhere.
That's like classic comedy stuff.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I never got to take that show to the Fringe, but that's kind of, you know, well, you can't plan for all these eventualities. You never know.
No one gets covered in gunk in this film.
No, it's a gackless
There's no
movie.
gacking. Yeah.
It is.
What a real shame.
And they found out, actually, well, I don't know if you're a fan, a lot of people are big fans of slime. You know, so you can buy slime in the works now. You can buy slime in, or equivalent of like a part of Walmart, basically. Slime is widespread because a lot of people I know, I talked about mindful eating, and they like to slime mindfully. They like to make slime and hold it in their hands, and they like how it feels. Okay. Personally, I knew what Noel was doing in that house party, and he's having a joke at him. I'm not going to fucking gack myself. But they found out that that's got boron in it. Yeah, a lot of the over-the-counter slime has apparently got like boron shit. I read this on the news. Is boron
bad? I went, and I didn't know if it was actually bad.
It's one of those like deep beneath the earth's surface chemicals that we don't like coming up onto the... you stay down in the ground, boron. You have no place here. So this may be a slimeless Christmas for some.
That actually made me feel sorry for boron then when you were telling it to stay down in the ground. Okay.
It's not a
no,
very
boron,
happy...
you stay down.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't belong here. It's not a happy Christmas if you are boron. Deep beneath the earth's crust is the coldest place at the time of year.
Kevin, you know what this film needs?
What's that, Sam?
More goofy relatives.
Yeah!
Give them to me.
Give it to me. It's Christmas Eve. Bring out the old.
Uncle Dickhead's here with his hairpiece.
Yeah, and his forgetful wife.
Yes. That's... Yeah, it's not.
She's all out of sorts, and there's some great physical comedy here from Chevy when, you know, they're handing out the gifts, and because she's old and forgetful, she wraps up all sorts like jelly, and there's a cat in a box, and the physical comedy of the right, and then he stops it with his hand. Oh, Sam, now come on, come on now.
No, I mean the way he shook that box around and then put his hand on it was you don't just get that from any old schmuck, do you? That takes years of improv training to figure out how to do shit like that.
Well, you know, Sam, as you know, from me not insisting to say that the phrasing of a referendum referendum should say crispy items are the nicest. I'm nothing if not a humble man, and I'm a humble man who would admit that I would not be able to do what Chevy is doing there. That's beyond me. I wouldn't be able to. My wrist is too flaily. You know, they know.
You'd have to get an actual cat in there, and that's not good for the welfare.
I wouldn't allow it. You know, even the concept of the cat being in the box made me upset. My time in cat welfare has ruined me. I can't enjoy the comedy of Chevy Chase anymore. What's going on? The entrapped, caged animal humor of.
There was one
Chevy
bit in this
Chase.
where I thought, I wonder what Kevin thinks of this from an animal welfare point of view. The bit where the cat is actually chewing on the electrical wire. This is a little bit later on, but it's chewing on the light thing. And I'm like, they can't fake that. That's a cat chewing on some.
Oh, you just make
Christmas
it licorice or something like that, you know. Cover it, make it randy, cover it in the piss of a cat it likes the look of, and then there you go. It'll chew the shit out of it, like, you know, it's fine.
But it's got electric in it.
Sam, they got these things in Hollywood called special effects. Ever heard of them?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah?
That cat was all CGI, wasn't it?
It was all special effects, it was. And that's why
Those are real lights, but fake cat.
Yeah, exactly. That's the cat's how the cat died, like Obi-Wan in Star Wars. And the cat's there chewing on him and like, if you strike me, Dad, I'll become more meowerful than you could ever possibly imagine. And, you know, that's how it goes down for the cat. Can we talk about their Christmas spread here?
The turkey's fucked, isn't it?
The turkey's a little dry.
It's like those eggs from Alien. You know, it just kind of opens up and it's just a weird mess.
Nothing worse than a dry turkey.
No.
Oh my God.
So this turkey looks fucking hollow.
It was incredible. I love the effect of this. It just... I could taste it in my mouth. The way like this like gas comes out of it as well. Now come on, Sam, you gotta give it that.
Alright.
That's some of the 27 mil went into that, like.
Into that turkey effect.
The
turkey did a little pump as it got cut open.
Now, turkey, a dry meat. Have you ever had a dry turkey on the day? I know you've said in previous episodes that turkey, not your favourite of meats.
It's not my favourite of meats, but the turkey I've had for Christmas dinners has always been phenomenal.
Have you ever had turkey outside of Christmas?
Yes. In fact, you made me turkey burgers once and they were very nice.
Oh, no. I mean like a roast turkey. Yeah.
Okay. No.
Yeah, right? Why is that?
Yeah.
I think it's one of the things that people don't genuinely like that much. Like I do. I love a nicely cooked turkey. The way I like it done, great. You know, nice and rare, nice and juicy. You know.
I think I've talked about this every year on Festive Swirl, but a turkey and stuffing sandwich after Christmas.
Oh, fuck yes. Right, you know what? People wonder, when does Christmas start? Right there. As soon as Sam Chaplin said that, holidays are coming. Yeah. That is it, right? You know, some people are like, oh, I'm going to see the Christmas truck. Am I going to hear Sam Chaplin big up a fucking roast turkey sandwich? Yes. Is it going to be great? Yes. It will be. It will be great. Nothing is as reliable in the shaky world we live in today, Sam, as the thing you've just said there.
God, I'm so hungry now.
No.
I really want a sandwich.
Did you have your tea?
I did, and yet now I'm just like, I want that turkey and stuffing sandwich.
A little bit of water.
Have some liquid.
Double tip.
Yeah.
A fruit tea, calorie-free, more or less, and because it's hot or tepid, it will actually slow down your stomach's rumbling, having the hot liquid in there. Hot takes for you there.
I see what you're saying, and I will counter that with, or I could have a big sandwich.
See, your mistake is having the makings of a big sandwich in that house, you know?
Yeah.
Sam, all I'll say is you cut yourself according to your cloth.
I don't understand what you're saying, but I'm still hungry for
It's an Irish
sandwich.
phrase that you couldn't possibly understand. Possibly. So they've got a very questionable spread here, and you know what, dry turkey aside, I almost was like, you know what, it's very dry turkey, but the fact that it's golden brown and it's very crunchy, it's like, I'd actually kind of like that in a weird way.
Yeah.
Crispy skin, you know?
Like turkey crackling.
Yeah, right? That's what it's made turkey jerky, or turkey as it's known. And when Uncle Eddie's like, oh, save me the neck, I'm like, yes, please. And you know what? This year, I am going to say that to my parents. You know, when the Christmas prep is done, I'm going to sit them down and go, look, I'm not the boy that you once knew. I'm a full-grown man. And in those years, I have roasted at least 100 chickens. And I know some things about me to be true now. And you need to hear this from me, Mum and Dad. I want to eat the arse and the neck of that bird. All right? Because I've never roasted a turkey. And I've done it with chickens. And I just feel like it's going to be like arse plus and neck plus, you know? And I want to eat them. And I know how good they'll be.
Yeah.
This is my year. This is going to happen, Sam. Holidays are coming. Holidays are coming. Did I counteract your hunger by any chance? Be talking about gizzards and bits?
No, not really. I'm more hungry, if anything.
Oh, are you an arsehole man as well, then?
Yeah, I mean...
like, if you come round my house for Christmas dinner, are we going to have a fight over the arsehole? Because, like, there's going to be... I will fight you for this, man,
At this point, I just eat anything. It's what's happening. I've got hunger on.
And it was wise King Solomon who then said, "No, let them both eat arsehole," and he cleft the arsehole in twain. So they're spread here, legit bogus. Listen to this shit: peppers, salad, jelly. What are you?
I don't know what's going on here.
Like, seriously, I feel like I'm looking at the Predator like, what the fuck are you? Like, I'm so perturbed by this.
I feel like I've been nationally lampooned here, because this is not what a Christmas dinner is.
Cold salad with fucking hot gravy on the place. Are you fucking stupid? Get out,
Absolute joke. Pathetic.
Shut the door behind you, lest the poison that infects your very being gets in mind.
The dog's eating the trash here, which is probably tastier than that spread. The cat's been electrocuted now.
Yeah, he's been Obi-Wan's.
He's eating the lights and he's got electric. This is a dead cat now. The cat's dead.
And they're eating Christmas cheesecake, which is like, hang on now. What? Cheesecake on Christmas?
In fact, I have had cheesecake on Christmas.
Really? That heavy a dessert after a full roast?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
A lot later on in the day. It's not immediately after.
All right, I was going to say, because if it's like kind of, we've had that and here comes cheesecake, that'd be the kind of thing. I'd get up and walk out of the room and my lower half would still be behind me. It wouldn't catch up like. I'd just be like, hang on a second, where's the... Whoa. I'm glued to the chair here.
But I have had cheesecake on Christmas, and it's very nice, but a long time after the actual dinner is finished.
So the old man kills the Christmas tree when he lights up his stogie.
Christ, yeah.
Which, again, if you want an extra free laugh, imagine he's smoking a poo.
Yeah. He's...
And also, all of A-Team becomes like a riotous comedy about three mates who like have this old man in tow. It's like, lads, he's got fucking a big smelly turd in his mouth. I love when a plan comes together. Oh, is that right? Do you, Hannibal? Yeah, do you? Love when it comes together. You fucking idiot. He's only gone and smoked a big turd.
Uncle Lewis has burnt the tree with a big flaming poo in his mouth. And he's like, oh, what are you upset about? And everyththing's going wrong in the Grindelwald?
Rango?
The crimes of Gringle.
The crimes of Grima Wormtongue will be discussed at length when Cinema Swirl returns in 2019 with Lord of the Rings.
What's his name?
Griswold. I said it ages ago. That wasn't a joke one. I wasn't trying to be funny. I was just trying to tell you.
The Griswold family have had a Christmas nightmare.
That always happens in these Christmas movies where it's like, oh no, the tree. That's the beating heart of Christmas.
Yeah.
If there's no tree, Christmas ceases to exist. I'm like, fucking fridge is still stocked, right? We still got all of our presents. Everyone's still here.
It's like a metaphor for Christmas, isn't it? If the tree gets fucked, then everything's fucked.
Sam, that tree was fucked the moment it went up in that house. Just saying. All they've done is gotten a chore out of the way surprisingly quickly with very little secondary damage.
Yeah, actually, they got rid of that big tree.
And honestly, when you had the real tree, if someone could say, you know what, we could just go like that and it'll be gone, like quick. And you went, give it a quick flash there.
Yeah.
Burn it up.
It's not the right way of doing it, but it'll be very quick.
No, Sam, but it's the fast way of doing it. So we get a knock on the door. Uh-oh, it's a Christmas miracle coming in a little bit late.
Oh,
but
thank God.
Courier delivery in here is. It's Clark's Bono check.
Yay! End of the movie. He's got the big bonus. Everything's fine. Off we go. Let's go home.
You know something's going on though because he starts making the big promises, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really sets himself up for a fall here.
He insists on opening it in front of a crowd. No way.
To talk about what you're going to do with the bonus pre-opening the bonus.
Nope.
Yeah, no. You know when the A-level results come out?
No, because I've never had A-level results.
You know what
I did the leaving certificate in the Republic of Ireland.
You know what they fucking are. Right,
No, I don't, right? Get this right. Listen, Irish listeners right now, get this, right? Over in England, they've got this fucking scam going where they can do like 2 subjects, get into fucking college, and you can do like dancing and photography. No, not having to do maths and English and Irish and the language and the science, and you get to pick 1 or 2 other subjects. Fuck that. And you know, Sam, it's nothing alike. Nothing alike.
Alright, you know when the leaving, what is it called? Leaving certificate.
Oh, I had a lot of difficulty preparing for the exam in the subject I'm deeply passionate about.
Right, you
said the English doing their A-levels.
You know when any exam results come out and the news people
Yes.
go to like a college or a school and they film some of these young people opening their results?
Yeah.
This was the kind of tension that gets set up here.
Good tension.
You kind of hope it's going to be shit.
The best one I ever saw, I remember it was when my junior cert results came out, which is like our equivalent of GCSEs, except we do like 12 of them instead of 6 or 7. What's that all about? Well, the Ireland have an unnecessarily hard time. Who'd have thought? But anyway, no, it's fine. It's alright, Sam. It's okay. It's fine. No, don't no one make it up to. I'd like a Christmas present for Ireland this year. I think it would be in good taste. You know, I'm just saying, right? But alright, we're opening up our junior cert results, and a bunch of guys I knew who were like, bless them, they were nice, but they were total dunderheads. They were very much the Bulk and Skull type characters, right? Like literally music played whenever they came into a room going diddle-diddle-diddle, and they opened up theirs and they failed all of them, like every single one. Like, they got E's on everything. Yeah. But because the grade boundary of an E, which is a failing grade in Ireland, is like it was like 25 to 40, you know?
Yeah.
They're like, no, 25 to 40. That means we got 40. That means we passed. We passed every single one. And they were like, yeah! Like, Mum, yeah, I passed all of them. Yeah, all of them. And you know what? Unless anyone really sat down and checked, because junior cert results don't really count towards college and stuff like they do in the UK.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they convinced themselves and got away with it as well, and their parents. So fucking A, yes.
Yeah, positive thinking can change your exam results.
Exactly. You can't change the situation. All you can do is change your reaction to it, and your action may be reinterpreting it incorrectly.
Yeah. That's what Christmas is all about.
Yeah.
But he doesn't get the bonus.
No, he doesn't. What's he get instead?
A voucher for... What's it a voucher for?
It's a jelly subscription box, basically. Jelly of the month
The
club.
Jelly Club.
Yeah. That's fucking well ahead of its time, isn't it? Like...
Yeah.
That's like something you see on the Guardian gift guide for him or her, you know? Ooh, get him a eclectic, you know, like you send your cheese on toast in the mail, you get a jelly every month. Like, oh, wow, wacky, that sounds fun. This is worth the $15.99.
Have you had any of those gift boxes?
What, subscription boxes?
Yeah.
I did Graze for a while, and then I realised that I had their algorithm. I was really engaged with Graze. I was enraged, and as a result of that, I narrowed down their algorithm so much where it's like, is it going to be? Oh yeah, it is. It's these ones that I like. Or next month it's going to be. Oh, these ones that I like. Okay. Or this one's going to be 3 of the ones I like and a new one which I don't like. So I ended up like I came back one day and it was like 4 Graze boxes stacked up and I hadn't even opened them. Like, okay, yeah, I've got a problem. So I've never went back to a subscription box. I've been gifted from like various places that do them, you know, like one of our live shows, the event was sponsored by a loot box crowd and they gave me some and that was nice, but most monthly subscription boxes I find will kind of gang up on me. I don't think I can handle having something that's going to come every month and pay for it every month. There's not that gap in my life. How about you? Are you on any boxes?
Only with like records.
Do you get Meow Box for Miles, do you?
No, but that would be nice. I bet there's that. I bet you could get cat boxes with cat treats.
Fuck, I should have. That's proprietary. I shouldn't have said that. Damn it.
Have you given away your idea?
Yeah, I've given away my $1 million idea. I've only got like $100,000 idea and a $10,000 idea left now. Fuck it. Damn it.
We can both go on Dragon's Den with it.
No, I want to go on Shark Tank. I'm not going on the frankly declining Dragon's Den. I want to hitch my wagon to an up-and-coming, genuinely entertaining show. And I think you and Mr. Wonderful would have fabulous chemistry.
Can we bring Miles?
Yes!
And he'll be part of the pitch.
We bring him in. And no, what we do is we put him up on the seat and then we would get Jim Belushi to voice him. He'd be like, whoa, Jim Belushi goes in. Yeah, and he'd be like, hey, why don't you invest in Meow Box from Kevin and Sam?
No.
Tell us about your brother. What type of cat was he?
So, yeah, Clark's really angry that he didn't get his bonus.
I love the family's reaction. She's like, what's wrong, Clark? Is it bigger than expected?
No.
Yes, there's too much money. Oh, what am I going to do?
So he gets a chainsaw and he starts sawing shit up. He cuts off a bit of the banister.
That, I think, is... Remember saying earlier, the kind of the disgruntled, middle-aged kind of family man who feels he's got a little bit of AC/DC flowing through the veins. You know, I'm built for the open road, man. Not a job that I'm qualified for. You know, I'm built to last.
Yeah.
Getting a little bit Harley Davidson. Getting a little bit Wranglers. Getting a little bit boutique IPA. Getting a little bit new CD by Metallica. They still make them. They still going. They're still the classics. Let's go to the garage and have a listen with all the other dads, yeah? And there's a very iconic image there, isn't it? Like, where he's, sawing stuff with his chainsaw. And I kind of feel on Christmas morning I want to get up and be back in black with a chainsaw, taking down Christmas tree. You know, yeah. You tell him, Chevy. Yeah. You tell him, Chevy.
But there's no time for that because there's a squirrel in the tree now. Do they get a new tree?
They do. He chops down a tree which smashes into the fucking posho's house. Get those wealthy dowagers. Get him. And it smashes into their house and then he sets it up and there is a squirrel inside.
Squirrel in it?
Yeah, and I was like, oh no, a squirrel. But then it was a grey squirrel. So I was like, come on, dog. Get the grey squirrel. Banish it. The hated grey squirrel.
Fuck him.
Yeah. If you're not familiar with that and think, oh, Kevin, that's a bit harsh. Yeah. You've not listened to all of Cinema Swirl. And we did talk about grey squirrels before, didn't we?
Let's hope so. I think we have. I'm pretty sure we have.
I hope we have.
Yeah.
The dog is chasing the squirrel, and it's a right scene, Sam.
It's a proper... They go up the stairs, down the stairs, all over the shop.
But instead of a nudie lady, it is a squirrel. And instead of an old man looking for a bit of how's your father, it is a big slobbery dog called Snot.
Chevy looks at the squirrel for ages, and then he just envisions a nudie lady after a while. And then a nudie lady is chasing everyone around.
A tiny nudie lady has been chasing
a squirrel-sized nudie lady.
Horrible, horrible image we've just conjured there. Goodness.
Elaine from Seinfeld gets squirreled. Yeah.
That'll all tie in later on. That's the beauty of Seinfeld, is all that will tie in, you know. It's so the worst thing that Clark does, though, you know, he's done a lot of he's gone bad Santa here. He's gone real, you know, he's real heel here. But one of the worst things he does is he's got Christmas presents that are wrapped up in newspaper. I don't know. There's a few years where I went with the bag I was bought in turned inside out, and I feel really dirty about that.
Oh no!
It's bad, isn't it? It's real bad.
Yeah.
How are you for rapping? You like a good rap?
I'm not very good at it, but I do like doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to sit down, and this is your one chance because you better lose yourself in the music. The moment the rapping, you're gonna never let it go. Mom spaghetti, wrapping it up like Mom spaghetti.
Mom's sellotape.
Mom's sellotape. His arms are lakey, like he's getting Mom's spaghetti for Christmas.
I know this is literally a Michael McIntyre observation, but the cutting the wrapping paper and doing the glide, it is great. And you know what? I do have a man drawer where I keep all of my man things. So
sorry, Sam, I'm pure as white snow. I don't know what you're talking about. I literally don't know. You know,
everyone at home is like, brilliant, absolutely fantastic.
I hope not. I've been pitching this podcast all wrong then.
And then they'll settle down after listening to Cinema Swirl and watch Mrs. Brown's Boys. They'll go around Mrs. Brown's Boys and have a great time.
Yeah, maybe that's why I should just do like kind of a bit of an Irish caricature instead and give the audience what they want. Like, and then Clark, so he does. He gets the talking to from his dad. He does. He gets the talking to there. And I've written down here, so I have Clark gets the talking to from his father that Chevy Chase clearly never got himself.
So Clark, in all of his angry rage, says to his family that he wishes he had his boss here right now. That's what I want for Christmas. All I want for Christmas is Bill Murray's brother. Ooh, baby.
Brother.
Bring him in, slag him off, say, mate, that's bang out of order what you did with my bonus. You're bloody wrongin', mate.
Did you think he's going to be behind him?
It did seem like one of those moments because everyone was like a bit quiet and he was proper slagging him off. And I expected him to turn around and go, no!
Yeah, I was like, I remembered it wrong. I thought that's what happens. And I was like, oh, Chevy. Oh, no, he's just going to keep complaining. Like,
but the issue is that Ed's listening a bit too carefully here and actually goes out of his way to kidnap Bill Murray's brother.
Well, I wish I could be kidnapped every day when the bells start singing and the band begins to play. So Eddie does kidnap Clark's boss, and he brings him into the house, and he explains that he wasn't meant to get a bonus, and that bonuses were cut this year, so his friend at the office was obviously lying. A little Christmas fib.
Well, I mean, they do get a bonus, but it's a subscription to jelly.
That's not a bonus. That's
That's
an obligation, Sam.
Yeah.
You're doing all that jelly. I could not eat one jelly a month. I don't like jelly.
No,
I don't.
No.
I don't like all jellied things. I don't like the jelly that can come on like certain foods. I don't like wine gums.
Pork pie jelly.
I love a pork pie. Don't get me wrong. I love a pork pie, but if it's got jelly in it,
Imagine just eating that jelly in isolation. That's all you eat. Big bowl of it. Big spoonful of pork pie jelly.
Stop that now. Stop it. Seriously, that's horrible.
You've told me so many stories of weird textured shit coming out of everywhere, and now this is my turn.
But that actually
Big bowl
happens.
Of pork pie jelly.
That actually happens, Sam. The Geneva Convention prohibits the scenario you've just
Stirring
described.
it with a spoon, and then just pork pie jelly.
That
yes, please.
Is fucking foul.
Drinking it with a straw.
I had a joke and I've forgotten it now.
I'm sorry.
You see what happens.
I'm sorry, Cinema Swirl audience.
Oh my god, Jesus! It's the fucking
gross, isn't it?
It is. It smells all weird. And if it wasn't in a pork pie, you wouldn't know it was meant to be food. That's the thing as well. You would think it's some sort of like alien building block or something like that. Their carbon or something like. Wow, what is this mysterious substance? And then it would take over your body like the fucking. I remember what it is now. I legit had a nightmare once about Colin Cum from Aliens.
Yeah,
but it was all pork pie jelly because my supervisor for my research, I was in cat welfare. He once had a big pork pie where I was having lunch with him, and he's like, "Oh, my wife's packed me a nice pork pie," and it's Lincolnshire, the home of pork pies, and he cut into it, and literally as he was cutting in, it was like overflowing, like it spewed over the knife, like it was a homemade pork pie where the lack of pork had been made up for by a lot of jelly, and it was like. And then I had a nightmare where it was like some guy like jelly spewing out of him. And if you are in the Android industry, don't fill them full of jelly, because then I won't want one.
No.
Fill them full of a white liquid. That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Fill them full of cum, and it's fine.
Legit fill a pork pie full of cum, which legitimately pork.
You'd rather cut a pork pie open and it be just overflowing with cum rather than the actual jelly. That's more appealing.
It's less grotesque. It's still grotesque.
Okay.
You know? Like the jelly is one shade of low. If I cut into it, then there was like an eye that's moving around in the middle.
Jesus.
There you go.
Yeah.
I can play fucking grotesque tennis with the best of them, Chaplin. Don't get in a fucking tinkle contest with me. I'll piss all over you. I don't even care how far it goes.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
So the boss explains that it was a smart business decision to get rid of all of the Christmas bonuses, but seeing the impact it has on this fine family, what kind of Christmas would this be? So everyone gets their bonuses 20% higher than before. Explain that to the CFO. Yeah. Fucking hell. Yeah, you know that cost-cutting measure we desperately needed? Not only have I not implemented it, I've added an additional 20% on top of that.
I sort of feel like he says this now, but then he's going to go back to the office, chat with, the rest of the board about it, and they'll be like, well, obviously no, we can't do that. And he'll come back to the, Grindelwald family and say, that was a non-binding verbal agreement that doesn't mean anything.
However, you will get 20% more jelly every month.
Loads of jelly.
We can
straight scooped out of a pork pie.
No!
Directly into your mailbox every month for only $9.99. Can't say fairer than that.
The Popo come and crash the party, and they smash up everything, including the sexy neighbour's house. And it all kind of comes to a big crescendo here. The police are coming in, they tell everyone to freeze, and Bill Murray's brother's back is turned, and then it's like, it's okay, everyone, it was just a Christmas understanding. A Christmas understanding. It's okay.
There was a solid gag here with the kind of SWAT team or the police or whatever, where the SWAT leader is like, freeze, and then all of his fellow SWAT people don't move, and he's like, no, not you. That's, you know what, that's quite good. I'll give him that.
Is that the best joke in the movie for you?
Drum roll. That.
The sewer gas that is mentioned earlier on, of course it gets lit. Santa explodes and flies off into the sky from the wrecked decorations from an earlier meltdown. You know, I reckon with those meltdowns, I reckon they just like waited till Chevy had an actual legitimate meltdown, just film that. Like, you know, the boss is named after like the principal photography, and it's just like, look, just call the boss that, and then he'll freak out because he always freaks out, and like we'll make sure when he's like really angry and really tense, like he's had to talk to writers or like praise a co-worker, and then he'll just let the cameras go. He'll get the chainsaw himself.
I'm glad there was a sewer gas explosion, because it's kind of Chekhov's shit pipe situation. You can't just set that kind of thing up and then not pay it off later. So I'm glad
you can't have a loaded shit pipe and not have it be shot. Like,
but I was still sad that no one got covered in gack.
Yeah, or even got an old man got singed, and I was kind of hoping for a bit more trauma than that.
Yeah. And then movie ends.
Yeah. They have a little bit of a star-spangled banter when they sing that little old... It was oh, so used to the
England.
And the home of Ferguson and Ryan Giggs. I did it.
And that's the end of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
And you know what that means, folks? It means we have never been closer in Cinema Swirl history than we are right now to another Lord of the Rings episode. Sam, I've spoiled your new year, but have I spoiled your Christmas? What did you think? We went through it. You admitted to laughs, and you admitted to
I didn't admit to
the
laughs.
presence of solid gags.
I admitted to the presence of jokes.
They were there. Jokes were found on the scene.
Yeah, I can confirm that there were jokes in this film. I can't confirm that I laughed at this film because I didn't laugh at it.
Well, it's a comedy, I feel, a Christmas comedy, and we are. What day is it today? I mean, we are. I mean, I don't know about you. My tree's up. I'm all decoed up. Like, it is Christmas. Like, and we're not like freaks who set up like in October or anything like that. You know,
no, we're close to Christmas. This is not like Celebrity Juice where they film it in October. You know, we're close to we're right there. We don't have to book Holly Willoughby, so we can do it real close to Christmas.
We don't have to check and see if anyone off Towie is free. We can just,
Yeah. Is Joey Essex around? I don't care.
Yes. No, he is. And at Christmas as well.
Okay.
He is. So I feel like if it's a Christmas comedy movie, and also considered to be not just that, it's been considered to be a classic, you know.
Yeah.
And I know there are better National Lampoon movies and also better vacation movies. I think that much I definitely cannot dispute. But I don't know. Is this the first time you've seen Chevy Chase for his prime? Had you seen him in any other movie? Had you seen Fletch? Had you seen anything else that he's been involved in? Or no?
Don't think so.
Just Community,
No.
is that it?
Yeah.
But you know the image of peak Chevy Chase, like this face that you see in this movie. That's an iconic image in of itself, right? I mean, were you let down? I was going to ask, but it feels like a bit of an obvious question.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's amazing that with the bar and standard we set for Chevy, that he still managed to not clear it with you.
I sort of hope that this isn't him at his absolute best.
But say
maybe it is. Maybe this is kind of representative of his whole shtick, and I don't like that. Or
I can't say that he's better, because I wrote fondly of Chevy's physical and facial and his comedy timing. All of that I praise. So I wouldn't say here like may not necessarily be peak Chevy Chase, but he's certainly by no means like he's at the peak of his career. You know, he's money in Hollywood. He is one, and this is this is a big movie and it was released. It didn't actually get released in the cinemas in the UK, as far as I know.
Right,
but I was gonna, would you watch this again as a part of a Christmas routine? Or
no,
I
wouldn't.
Two questions. One, what's wrong with this movie? And two, be honest and be very honest with me, and I won't judge you. All right. Is it a bit because we spent a bit of time talking about Chevy Chase being a bit of a dirty fucking scoundrel?
I'll answer those questions. One, it's not funny. Two, I don't think so, but maybe slightly. I really tried not to have any kind of bias going into this, and I don't think, as much as I am a principled man, I don't think that someone's character outside of their movie world could be so bad that it would stop me from laughing at a good joke.
I mean,
I don't know.
I say this, not really knowing his rap sheet, but it's not as if he's not, God, this is going to age this episode, but he's not like outspokenly broken the law in any sense. It just seems to be that he is a very abrasive, very genuinely horrible, and very oftentimes, deeply distasteful human being.
He's not, as of yet, full wrongin'. But he's just bad.
You're not going to, it's easy these days, isn't it, to kind of lump everyone into a sack of shitheads. And he is in his own separate sack, because if he was in with that other sack of shitheads, he'd probably get in a fight with them, and it would just, keep them separated, as the offspring would say.
I really don't think it was anything to do with that. You've mentioned that comedies on Cinema Swirl, especially from this era,
they don't fare well.
Not landed well with me.
With me and Joe, there were big laughs. There was not maybe we weren't rolling around or anything.
No,
but there was good tears and guffaws. And honestly, it was the old school physical comedy. That was it. It was the sled scene, the scene with the lights. All of that had me in big yucks. And the opening scene as well with him in the car and the family singing. So I still enjoyed it, and I feel like I've got at least as much ammunition to hate the man as you do. So
I don't think it's all about hating Chevy Chase. It's as simple as I didn't find it funny and I didn't laugh much. Or at all. I didn't laugh at all.
Where does this rank up with, say, The Blues Brothers or Ghostbusters, which are other movies which you didn't say they were completely unfunny, but you certainly didn't find them to be the comedy classics they were maybe made out to be. Is it this era? What is it?
I don't know. Because I do love silly physical slapstick comedy sometimes.
I know. I mean, yeah, because you and I bonded over a shared love of both old timey and new school comedy.
Don't get me wrong, I love stupid shit. I don't want anyone to think that I'm some kind of snob here, and I'm it wasn't very, I don't need this to be deeper or clever or anything, but it just didn't get me. It seemed
I'm going to watch The Detectress this Christmas, because I love that show, and it's a lovely, thoughtful, deep, layered show. But I'm also going to watch Some Others Do Have 'Em, because Some Others Do Have 'Em, and they're jolly well funny. He does all these wacky things. You know? So there's it's not that we're thrown off this style of comedy, but just these movies aren't clicking with you. Is it because they're American?
Oh, that's it. Yeah. Don't like American.
Bloody American movies.
Because I really like some American comedies, and I really like probably the majority of films we've done here are American films. And
God, Animal House, we're gonna have to do it.
Worried that I'm not gonna like it.
Dreading it. Well, Blues Brothers, I remember you didn't like that much at all, did you?
No, I didn't completely hate it, but I didn't love it. I didn't really get it enough. But I laughed a bit. With this, there was no laughs.
That's some musical numbers at least as well, didn't it, for you? So you can hang your hat on that.
I must stress that I wasn't trying not to like it. I wasn't willing myself not to laugh or
you were game for a laugh, weren't you?
I was absolutely game for a laugh. Yeah, and I wanted to feel Christmassy and have a laugh. And the story of this is just kind of everything goes wrong, and then last 5 minutes there's a bit of Deus Ex Machina. It's all better again. It doesn't really mean anything. There's no.
No, it doesn't. It's not even that
magic
good a game,
to it. There's a bit where he's the magic of Christmas is. Doesn't feel like there's a beating heart to this film. It's just some jokes that don't land very well. Framed around some family sitcom type drama where everything fucks up.
Well, to end it on a very fucking note, how many star wipes or Christmas wreaths will you give this movie, Sam?
I know you wanted to do a fun comedy, so we'd end the year on a high and be all happy.
Yeah, there was other movies. Yeah, there were other movies that I was like, no. I want to go with something safe, have a bit of fun before Sam really doesn't have a good time when we do Lord of the Rings. But vote's still pending, of course. But that's not necessarily what's happened here.
I have a star wipe rating in my head, and it may prove controversial.
I mean, Sam, I thought I was giving you a pork pie, and I actually gave you a jelly pie instead, and I feel very bad about that.
Ask me the question, Kevin.
Sam, how many star wipes would you give National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
1 star wipe.
Jesus Christ, you heard it here first. Merry Christmas.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Cinema Swirl. This episode was produced by Kevin, it was edited by me, Sam, and the music was also by me. Remember, you can like us over on Facebook at facebook.com/cinemaswirl. You can follow us on Twitter, that's @cinemaswirl. And if you've got any questions, queries, comments, or other stuff, you can send it on over to cinemaswirl@gmail.com. That's cinemaswirl@gmail.com. Remember, if you haven't already, to subscribe on iTunes or whichever podcast thing you use. And if you like the show, leave a review. And if you want to help us out, recommend us to a friend. Until next time, thanks for listening. Bye.
I could hear you slurping downstairs.
Could you? Oh, yeah, because you got the thing.
They didn't say there would be no 2-story Bluetooth on these bad boys.
Yeah.
I feel like I got a good deal.
In a funny sitcom, this would be the point where you left the room about, oh, God, bloody Kevin's gone. God, oh, he's a right rotter. And I wouldn't realise
you'd talk to Miles and you'd say, you know what, Miles? And he'd be voiced by, like, he'd be voiced by Jim Belushi. He'd be like,
yeah.
What is it, Sam? Is it that guy Kevin getting on your nerves again? I can't believe it. I can't believe that Kevin guy, huh? Am I right? Tell me what you really think. Well, Miles, if Miles was to be, who would you have Miles voiced by?
I think you've nailed it there. I think that's perfect.
Really? Jim Belushi?
Yeah.
I would have thought like Tilda Swinton or something like that. Go real highbrow, like very ethereal kind of,
nice. Yeah.
androgynous kind of whooshing noise.